reactions, screaming at the top of their lungs, jumping, flailing, doing weird things, constantly on camera. I eat banana, tasty banana, put banana in my mouth, tasty banana. I eat banana, tasty banana, please the peel it comes in there, put banana in my mouth, squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth, squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth. I eat banana, tasty banana. Put banana in my mouth, tasty banana. I eat banana, tasty banana. Please the peel it comes in there. Put banana in my mouth, squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth, squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth.
When we hit the 250 vestry for that celebration, I'm going to debut a new vest. There we go. Celebratory bubble blow. Very nice. There's bubbles everywhere. There's bubbles all over my PlayStation 4 controller. There's bubbles on my microphone stand. There's bubbles everywhere tonight.
Now what does the sugar do in the sauce?
Adds sweetness, adds a contrast. If you don't, it's all going to be tartness, and you won't have any kind of sweetness.
It's going to be acidity
to
from
the sauce.
tomatoes.
Right, you'll have
and then
tart and it's acid and nothing else. All right. So now we got to stir all that in, and then we add our final ingredients, and then the meat.
This one's for all my baby girls.
Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian Bills. Italian Dark Side Fifth. Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian chill. Italian can't give her a pill. I'm half kind of European mix. European style, Asian fusion style tips. Greasy hair, pasta once a week. The authentic style, Asian fusion style, Italian.
Guess what else we're going to add?
What?
Sausage. Italian sausage. That's going to go in here too.
I love sausage. I have had many varieties.
Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian Bills. Italian Dark Side Fifth. Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian chill. Italian can't give her a pill. Why do you pretend to be Italian? I don't. I'm not full-blooded Italian. That'd be ridiculous for me to claim. I am a quarter Italian. I am 1/4 Polish, and then I'm half kind of European mix. It complements the flavor perfectly. And it's so weird because it's nothing like any other cuisine. It really isn't. I can't even tell you another cuisine that tastes like that. But it's so good. And what I like about Mediterranean food is usually when you get it, you get such a good variety of stuff. Like I got, so it came with hummus and pitas. You dip the pitas in the hummus, and that was delicious. Robust. Insanely flavorful chicken. It's not dry. It's freaking robust. Give me this dipping sauce. Garlic infused dipping sauce. Robust. I will tell you guys is thus.
Hello, everyone. We are here with another edition of the That Being Said podcast. I am ALT Insider, and as you can see, I'm surrounded once again by just chock full of legends. This show is. I'm going to go around the room, and of course, I'm going to get to our legendary guest last year. So I'm going to start things up with the dentist himself, Fantastic Mr. Sam. How you feeling this week, my friend?
Pretty good. Another slow week. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
We're going to try to make stuff up here for you. Below me is the one and only, the cat, the meerkat. How you feeling this week, my friend?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's nice to be here this week. We're going to talk about a bunch of nonsense, so make sure to stick around.
And last, but certainly not least, someone that many people behind the scenes have been asking about for literally decades. That have been asked about this. So many people, millions of people, I think, at this point, have been asking for us to get this guest on here. And finally, we made it happen for you. And Lee, how are you feeling today?
And I'm doing good. After getting some rest from the 30-hour marathon, I'm feeling a heck of a lot better.
Yes. We are certainly very excited to have you on here. And it is definitely what a week it's been, I guess I should start with. So many things we want to talk about. So many things I know people are waiting for us to talk about. But let's go a little. That's, of course, we always got to do. We got to edge you guys a little bit. What I'm saying. So we got to go back in time. Make sure we cover the whole week. We don't just cover the hype stuff that happened the day before the show. We cover the whole week. So first point worth mentioning, I think, I'm going to go to the vacuum breaking moment, which I think was that I rarely get angry or feel anything about Phil like the anger side of things. I'm all laughing usually. But man, how he said it, where he talked about his vacuum breaking, and he made sure his watchers knew whose fault that was. Cat, I feel sorry for you. He was like, Cat forgot. That's how he said it. It's like a lot of feeling goes into saying something like that, and that's how you talked about my younger sister when she does something stupid. Usually my sister forgot that I had to go use the car. When I was a teenager, I talked like this, but that was really bad. I know other people might not feel that was that bad, but that really made me feel bad for her. So anyone have thoughts about that to start things off here? The very condescending Phil, and I fear what he said to her off air. But I'll throw it to the group here. Any thoughts there?
I guess I do have a thought. In typical Phil fashion, he made a small thing that was not a big deal at all. Like the fuse dropped, power went out, it was taken care of within 5 minutes. He made it a storyline. And he made sure to clarify that it was his wife's fault. And she did it because she is stupid. That's very important.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why we're talking about it right now, because he made it a thing to talk about.
And I don't know, Phil always is so quick to defend, right? His wife, when anyone says anything, it's defending. But apparently he can call her stupid, and we can all see that he definitely thinks she is stupid for that. The eye rolling and everything. Man, Sam, anything to say there? I know you're a married man. What would your wife do if you said that on stream? I don't know. I mean,
I feel like we've said this before, haven't we? Like I feel like I'm sure there has been a situation at least once before where we've said, if I said that about my wife, maybe it was a tweet of yours or something, I don't know, but like, I don't know. Yeah, it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like, what if he's saying that kind of stuff? Like, what are we not seeing? That's all I think I can think about it.
And anything to add before we move on?
Well, I'm kind of curious on whether or not we had the same reaction for the the shower incident, because I kind of feel like we had something not quite the same, but I did remember that he kind of laid that on as a kind of her fault.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't really surprise me. He got publicly embarrassed by having a power outage, and we got to throw her under the bus because it can't be his fault. And he could have just simply said, "Well, we just had a power outage," and just left it at that. But
yeah, that's the saddest point. It's so easy. Hey guys, my power went out. We're back now. Over.
Yeah, throwing her under the bus was just the weirdest thing to do. That's just like some kind of weird spite thing that maybe you can't let out to anybody else. Because I mean, who else is he going to tell it to? His cat? I don't think Jasper's really going to listen to that.
I mean, you're going down a track. We can just keep the stream moving, but Phil has to that meme where you're veering off the highway. He's like, hold on, I got to make sure everyone knows it's Cat's fault. Here we go. And we can. That's a small point to this week. So let's move on here. Another smaller point, but I definitely want to mention it. Rob on wheels finally breaking Pignosis. He says, "Do we believe him or not this time?" I think this is not his first time, but he seems serious this time. What are we thinking here, guys? Ailey, sounds like you have some comments.
I can't believe how much crap we've given Rob over the years, and then just for him to kind of break it over something just as nonsensical. Because wasn't it really just he was breaking it off because he was just being way too negative and constantly focusing on the trolls, which he's been doing that forever. So like, what exactly was the breaking point?
I think it was
we
the
just
begging.
finally noticed. Of course.
Rob asked him in a super chat like 2 or 3 times, I think, Phil, can you tone it down on the begging? And DSP didn't beg for like a day, I think. That's the most he could go. And then the salty tweet started, I think. Over DSP being negative about something. I think you're right about that. It was some petty shit on Twitter.
Yeah. It's totally, quid pro quo for Phil. It's just something he does all the time. And all of a sudden, for some reason, Rob took this one to heart. And here we go. I guess it's good. Everyone has their moment, I guess, or not everyone, I should say, but some people that support Phil have their moment. Like we talked to DJ Runo at the call-in show. He had his moment. Just some moment makes you say, you know what, I'm done with this. And I guess that was Rob's. But I can't say I'm 100% sure it's not going to come back. But once you get in the cult, you're really into it. I think it's tough to say goodbye forever, right? I think that's harder than we realize, maybe, because those
Basically have to get outcast before.
yeah. You just, some people rely on that kind of, someone telling me what to do. I'm a part of this group, and it really becomes part of your personality. But apparently, Rob, good on you, because he's breaking free, at least for now. One last point to talk about. Let's talk about the toilet handle breaking, which was funny only because normally it's not a big deal, right? But how Phil did this is in the thick of a 3-day low period. No glasses, right? No glasses for 3 streams. Oh, I'm getting nervous.
Couldn't see anything. I was like super blind, man.
I'm getting nervous. I'm disheartened. I'm all these words he always throws out there. I'm getting nervous is my favorite. But because my day off, I require a certain amount of money. And also I have bill on Saturday though, so don't forget about that. But I also need a certain amount of money for the day off. So that's most important. And then someone made a big so it all worked. He said I'm disheartened, I'm worried, got a $150 tip. Someone then asked about, okay, well, the toilet can be paid for then, right, Phil? Phil banned him. Instant. That was so good. It was such a benign question, too. Like, okay, Phil, now you take care of the toilet. Out of here. That was the best.
Something that would cost $5 at a Home Depot, we gotta toss somebody out on because I don't know. Like that's part of that was what we were asking for, right? Wasn't that part of the bill?
Sam,
he said it as well. He admitted that it's a cheap thing to buy. He admitted and then continued to beg about it.
It's so go ahead, Sam. Your turn. What do you want to say? I'll stop talking.
No, it's cool. You carry on. I feel like like all this stuff I've just completely forgotten about. Like this probably would have lasted us a whole podcast, but we've got like last night to go over, and that's completely.
I know. I'm speeding through.
Yeah.
But it's just so. It's just the tool he used. He always has a tool to use to try to drum up the support when it's low. And he latched on this tool handle idea, which I think is a funny thing to choose when it is $10. And he just latched onto it. And he always has to say, like, oh, I'm just really worried about it. Toilet handle breaks. It's just one of his tools in his toolbox that he breaks out. And this one was a very silly one. And then when a fan asked about it afterwards, no questions. I want your tips, but not your questions. And that person learned that's the deal around the DSP world. So There goes that topic. Toilet handle breaking. Huge news. Let's move past it. Now, let's get into the bulk of this. The bulk of our conversation today, possibly. Sound like an asshole now saying it, but we do. If you want to throw us money, we now have a donation link because you guys are legends and got us to 1,000 subscribers. So it is below. I have to say it. Contractually obligated to say that. Even though
like it down below.
Yeah, beautiful. Here we go, though. Back to the point here. Evil AJ privates his video. That's the headline of this. So we all knew that Phil was going to do this react. It was his plan for a little bit here. He was going to do Metal Gear Solid 1, the original This Is How You Don't Play. So, of course, we have this fucking... Oh, go ahead. Someone's going to say something?
It was 2. It was actually 2.
Two. Sorry, 2.
Yeah.
For that. And then Evil AJ, the legend that he is, let's not talk about what he's done in the past, but he decided to private it because he said, you know what? I don't want Phil doing this. And I think the whole community was in support of that. Yes, good job. He didn't do it, right? He did not. He's private the video. Doesn't want Phil to watch it. Cool. Phil goes to the depths I've never seen of calling someone petty. The pettiest person on earth calling someone else the pettiest person on earth was pretty funny. But Phil really, really lost it. And for that one pre-stream, there's so many streams now in my head about what had happened, what happened, what. But he really went to town on AJ that one stream. AJ was laughing on his Twitter saying, this is so great. But Phil lost it. If anyone's any exact memories of that, I'm ready to hear what you thought of that. Wow, that was something. And I'll throw it to you first. Any memories of that exact losing it after AJ privating a video? Phil losing it. And Lee, any comments on that one?
Well, geez, even restreaming that was like, it was really, really nuts. I felt like we were trying to get him to provoke him to unprivate it. I don't understand what the play here was, but it was just, I don't think there was a specific moment that just stood out. It was just almost near 30 minutes of just going on and on and on. And it was all because some dude privated a video that he wanted to react to. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I mean, he showed us right there. It wasn't big of a deal at the end of the day.
I know. He does it anyway.
Yeah.
Beercat, anything to add there?
I don't know, man. It's of course it was a petty move to private the video, but it's petty from DSP to make his whole gimmick about asking people for consent, and then when it comes to watching troll videos, you suddenly don't have to ask people for consent. Even though asking people for consent was giving him the moral high ground to reacting to stuff. And that was his gimmick. That's his pride point of asking people for consent. So
a nonsense point, man. There was no for consent from AJ. Man.
And then he used the tweet that was from, I don't know, whatever time ago of AJ replying to somebody else.
Yeah.
No, I think it was recently from when DSP pitched the idea to react to This Is How You Don't Play. Somebody asked AJ, are you going to give him consent? And I think he says, yeah, he can go watch the video or whatever he said.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
He just said something like an offhand comment at the end of a tweet. He said something like, he can do whatever he wants with the videos, I think were his words.
Yep. And yeah. And the best part of that is, remember all the names. Phil called AJ some shit back in the day. Like, I know now he's so nice guy, he doesn't call people names, but he called AJ retarded, attempted murder. He called AJ some shit back in the day. So I can understand AJ being pretty sour towards Phil. I mean, in the end, I know Phil thinks that AJ did him wrong too, which is fair. Okay. This Is How You Don't Play is not like a nice thing to do about somebody, for sure. But if you then talk shit about the person that made This How You Don't Play, they don't have to like be your friend or agree with what you want to do in the future, right? And Phil was trying to make it all this big conversation about like, oh, he doesn't respect the law or something, about like now he's going against the law and doesn't want me to watch it. That's bullshit. After him making this How You Don't Play about my content, it's like, I don't think it's really about the law right now. Phil, he just doesn't really like you, and he privated your video. Why are you trying to make this into like not respecting the law or something? And meanwhile, all the while, Phil had years to download this video. You know what I'm saying? And then, but
he could have backed it up. I do actually have a point specifically related to the whole permission thing, because it was actually during a restream. Specifically, I think this probably was around the same time, but I was restreaming what is it, the Kirby, the newest Kirby game.
Yeah.
And specifically during that time, he was hinting the whole, well, here's what we can react to, blah blah blah. And he had asked whether or not he could potentially get permission from Evil AJ to do the react to Metal Gear Solid 2, the first one. And in that actual restream that I did, he actually answered it first and foremost right there. But he said, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get his permission or everything. And that's what prompted that whole little exchange on Twitter that happened back in April. It was because of that restream. But I mean, back then, that was before he actually did the John and Howard coverage. And that, I think, soured him.
Interesting. Oh, so that's maybe why AJ said, fuck this.
Oh, yeah, I have a feeling it was because of that, because the way he was just using both wings and John and Howard, I don't think it was a good play by Phil. But I mean, it's Phil. Those DMs from Wings where he was kind of sucking him off quite a bit, calling him sir and everything, probably didn't help things either. So.
Thank you, sir. So that my favorite part of getting in, when he started like getting into that, then let's move on to that stream of this timeline is getting crazy for me now. But then we get to the time when he's going to actually do it, and he explains This Is How You Don't Plays, and he explains them in like the silliest way possible, right? He like says his stuff is difficult to watch. He's like, you watched 100 hours. What a loser. You watched 100 hours of my content? What a loser. It's like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, I think his whole idea, behind prefacing everything he did was to say that, and this is probably going to be a topic that we'll cover, but it was making out that he put so much work into it, and also the big thing for me was saying that he was a character, which is something he mentioned in the rant about AJ. So that it got sort of dropped in there, and then in the actual stream where he spent 10-20 minutes prefacing the whole thing, he brought it up again, and then throughout the whole react it was like this was my character, and that was like the mother of all retcons.
Oh God.
It was something he thought about, and when maybe we'll come back to it because I've noticed it once before where he's made that excuse as well. But
I think it's fine to dig into that now, because that was probably one of the biggest things to talk about for sure of that whole day. Was like, all of a sudden now, I said in the tweet, let's say it again, it's too good not to. The king of hate, the king of retro, the king of fishing, the king of authentic Italian sauce, the king of all this stuff. All that you thought. It was all a character, guys.
Yeah.
That's like you liked. It's all a character. And also, all the viewers knew it. That's the best part. They knew it and appreciated that.
A select few smart people got the joke.
How do you think that? What would... Okay, I'm done for a second. Meerkat, go ahead.
I want to go back on the previous thing about the painstakingly edited, this is how you don't plays, and you had to watch a million years. This is a common point that he tries to prove, because if you label somebody obsessed, then you take away their credibility. And it's very easy to label somebody obsessed if you go to their channel and you say, well, you've talked about DSP for this amount of time, and your whole channel is just DSP stuff, man, therefore you're obsessed. But are we going to compare that time that you've talked about DSP to the time that you spend at work that those people don't know about? We're going to compare that time to the amount of time you spend with the family or doing stuff on Twitter that is not related to DSP. Are we going to compare that time? So kind of it's kind of a lame point when you really kind of dig into it, because somebody talks a lot about Phil. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But really, it's just the YouTube channel. There's people that talk about all kinds of shit, hate watching or not, things that they like. They talk about for thousands of hours just because they can fit it in their schedule. Just like we could fit this in our schedule on this Sunday.
Mm-hmm. When you live your life like a drama show, you have to expect some people will enjoy the drama of that, right? And that's the biggest thing I can say is there's all kinds of YouTube channels talking about drama shows. There's all kinds of podcasts talking about drama shows. Phil is putting on a drama show. That is literally his job right now. No one cares. No one gives a shit about his gameplay. Let's get real, right? Gameplay sucks. His comedy is horrible. All people are there for is drama. And Phil knows that, by the way. That's why there's endless drama. And another little tool he uses is the fear tactic of, remember, before the React show, he had a little special segment of his level 1 whatever podcast was like, guys, my channel might get taken down. I want you to be ready for it. It's like, there's no chance this is going to happen. Realistically, I mean, it might have, but then why you don't even say this on stream? You know what I'm saying? Just do it. Just have the backup ready and then announce the backup. But Phil has to tell us in the podcast for 20 minutes. And it's just to create this little fear, more drama, more excitement, and it works. So, but Sam, would you go ahead?
Oh no, I mean, he has to. I mean, in our minds, you don't do that, but he does, because it's all part of his part of the plan to make the people legitimately watching him think a certain way. They're there to. Well, he's essentially controlling the narrative, isn't he? I guess he's got to make them think. This is all. This is all nuts, and the person that made this is completely crazy and obsessed and all the rest of it. And it helps in that regard, and it also helps to paint the picture of what he's about to react to as well, I guess, and help him look better, I guess. While he's playing it, but I wanted to just say about the character thing. He said that once before, to my knowledge anyway, about poorly cooking with the king. He said that was a character that he was putting on.
So he had the cooking character and the racist asshole can't play games well other character. I wonder how the other characters are. Now the closet opening character, maybe we'll find out in the future. The closet opening character. The what else do we have here? The petting the cat. Oh, talking to the cat in a baby voice character. I like that character. A lot of characters going on. That's
the mobile game playing character. That's some method acting right there. He was really in character for that one.
All these characters coming out. How disrespectful how disrespected must you feel if you're a fan of Phil? And like you didn't think it was a character because you weren't smart enough. If I was a fan of Phil back then, I'd be like, what the fuck? You told me you were the realest motherfucker on the internet.
Well, yeah.
Feeling honest.
So both those things are. Can we chalk those up to the great board of lies I'm building up over here? Phil has admitted to now. You know, I should put this. This is Phil's lie board. I'm going to put this on the wall next week. All the lies. My whole wall is filled. But
I think somebody made a comment that I kind of want to lift, but it was something akin to, I used to play a character. I play a character now, but I used to be a character too. It's like you can apply that to everything now, you know. I don't know. He called himself an idiot. Yeah, I used to be an idiot. I'm an idiot now, but I used to be one too, bruh. It's insane how he's been going on and retconning this stuff, because it's like, well, is it really going to make anybody look like, you know, if they've been following for a while? Because if you had noticed during that whole review or whatever, the retrospect, whatever the hell you wanted to call it, he had put up a poll wondering whether or not people that were currently in the chat, only his members, or whether or not they had been following him for more than 6 years.
Oh, yes.
And he didn't announce the results, by the way, did he?
No, he did not.
Oh, but guess who saved the results when it was happening live? This guy over here.
Yes.
And it came out to be 64% or over 6 years.
No, wait,
actually,
remember? Go ahead.
Yeah, two-thirds of his audience admitted. And we got to assume that they're trolls, mind you, but let's just pretend that they're being true and honest fans. 2/3 of his audience admitted, yeah, we've been watching you for over 6 years. So they don't really like the new Phil. The most people are coming in are not from the new Phil era. It's from the old Phil era. And you basically insulted them by saying, yeah, I was lying the entire time. What a great way to tell your audience, yeah, man. I really just I was just fooling around, man.
What foresight Phil had to know that back then what he was doing, remember, was seen as by society as not as bad as it is today. Let's get real. I mean, there's a lot more, you know, gay was a kind of a more common insult for sure back then. You know, there was everyone saying gay back then. Oh, that's gay. That's gay. And Phil knew, though, that was bad. So I'm going to do a character. So it's not me doing it. It's my character. Look at the foresight Phil had. That's truly incredible. The foresight this man had back then when everyone on the internet was saying words like this. But Phil, he was being a character to save his own. He knew it was wrong, and he was being a character. That's just so incredible. So the smarts on this man.
I'm still wondering whether or not the slave joke from last month was also in character, or if
yeah,
that was
yes,
the real guy. I don't know anymore.
Or not the black jokes as well. She's gonna take your purse. It's a black woman coming towards us. Those are also, he could turn it on very quickly now. Maybe he's gotten better at it, so he could turn it on quickly and just snippets. Right? That's he's leveled up. Maybe we don't know.
Yeah, it's like little.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like little Easter eggs for his longtime viewers that get the joke.
Oh yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Hey guys, this is one for you, the newer fans, which I know all of you are new fans, not the 60% like the poll said. He was so confident with that too, Ann Lee. Good comment there, because he was like, now I think most of you have found me in the last 5 years since I've changed. It's just so matter of factly like he always is, but and then.
One point to make on the new fan thing. I'm so surprised he chose within 5 to 6 years, because that coincidentally happens to be around right after the incident. So what a weird time frame to specifically pick. Could have just said like post marriage or something, but you know, whatever.
Yeah. Since his marriage changed him so much, yeah, we all know that. I do want to point before we get to the actual react and at what happens after that. This is still before. He did we got to talk about the meme, right? The meme, Phil breaking out memes. One of the most comedic genius moves ever is when Phil breaks out memes, and complete with you see the arm dragging to the OBS window. You see him you see him clicking it, then he has to recenter, check the camera. Okay, check the chat. All right, does the joke, checks the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Does the joke. Now I can laugh. Okay, now he starts laughing with this totally authentic laugh, just like authentic sauce, very authentic laugh. And then he starts the leg slaps, which, yes, that a lot of normal people do leg slaps when they really laugh. I don't know if you guys knew this. If you're really laughing, it's very normal to slap your leg overexcitedly about 4 times. It's really, if someone does that, you know they're authentically laughing. So Phil was definitely authentically laughing there. It really came off not cringe at all. Any thoughts there? Start with you, Sam.
I mean, if there's anything that makes a joke funny, it's killing the spontaneity of it by looking over and clicking with your mouse to start something, isn't it? But yeah, oh man, I was just thinking, like, what would make that funny? How could you do that funny? And the only way, if you have to do that, if you have to bring up a meme on screen, is click the button and just let it play and sit there deadpan and let it happen and then turn it off and don't mention it. Don't also start laughing and I don't. What the fuck was that, man? And he did it 3 times as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah, like a kid that has a good joke, they wanted to make sure everyone hears. They say it 3 times. You know, what a comedic genius.
Well, I mean, yeah. You know,
repeat it. That's the best thing. When you have a good joke, guys, just say it 3 times. That adds to the funniness for sure. Meerkat, any thoughts there?
Any thoughts? Well, suicidal ones. Yeah, after that fucking meme. That was a terrible meme. Now, 3 things about this.
Yes.
1, he used the most overused meme template that I've seen in like detractor circles and stuff. This fucking meme is in every single "this is how you don't play."
Yep.
And it always irritates me. It's always the same thing. 2nd, he used it wrong because it's not the way it's the template is supposed to be used. And the last thing is that he made it to be about internet tough guys, which is quite ironic because DSP can only be tough on the internet. You pull that cable, he has 0 power over anything whatsoever. Period. So yeah, that was a very funny meme, all things considered. But not by itself. It's like with the context of everything. There was also another one. I don't know if you remember it when he showed off the tweet where AJ gave permission. And he was like mocking it and laughing at it, but you couldn't see his face because the tweet was over his face.
He was making facial expressions too. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like so smug about it. You couldn't even see how smug he was. Oh, what a great segment.
It's
So
moments like that where he's unironically hilarious.
Oh, yes. Because he thinks he's doing something so good, right? He thinks this is going to get him. And then you see the chat like, yeah, Phil, I'm sure the detractors are fuming right now. It's like, yeah, we're fuming, but from laughter of this, just wow. Someone that is so unaware of how memes should work or what is funny. I mean, we know he doesn't know what anything is funny, but that was something. Then also, let's move past that. He kept, apparently, because AJ wanted to play Phil in fighting games sometimes, and sometimes he won, sometimes he lost, but it was an E-Dick competition. I thought that was funny. He's really obsessed with his E-Dick. He said this multiple times that day. Phil, some people wanted to play Phil games, you know, Street Fighter against Street Fighter. You know, it happens whenever Phil plays Street Fighter. There used to be people that are like, oh, I got to try to play him, and they beat him. It's just an E-Dick competition, which I thought was worth mentioning. Just funny how playing someone in a game and trying to beat them is an E-Dick competition. But maybe I don't know what E-Dick competition is.
He also said that about AJ's "This is how you do play" videos, and I thought this was a really fucking low blow where he started. You know, this really did get to me where he was like, "They're not that successful, by the way," you know, and it's just like that's essentially just a fucking gameplay video. Like, you know, why you get like that was the for me. I don't know if it got lower than that, but I think that was probably the point where I was like, fuck this guy, you know, there's no need for that, you know.
It was really a low blow, like you said. And I think it comes from a place where he thinks that when people upload something on the internet, they're doing it for clout or to get popular, like he does, because he just projects his own view of the world on whatever's happening. And it kind of opens up a window inside of his mind and how he actually perceives things.
Yes. And Lee, any thoughts there before we move on?
Well, it's kind of funny, because I'm thinking specifically with the latest Street Fighter collection, and I'm almost positive we were begging for fans to come in and fight him because we weren't finding any matches in the lobby. Right? We've invited people during the times of drought, but then apparently if we happen to match them and they happen to beat us and they happen to make a video about it and they gloat about it, it's negative. I don't know. Like I play fighting games every now and then. I get my butt beat all the time, but I'm okay with it. But that's because I'm not trying to protect myself and my fragile ego about getting 4th place one time back over a decade ago. Yep. It's insane. And the whole dick measuring contest that he's doing with the whole, well, Evil AJ's videos, they're not really getting that many views. I mean, but is this really what we gotta, you know, what we were really wanting to die on? Because there's a lot of his videos right now that aren't even pushing 1,000 views. Because nobody wants to watch half the stuff he's pumping out. He's been crying that there's no games, quote unquote, no new games, no new releases for him to play. But that's just because he's actively choosing to like not play anything worthwhile. I don't know. It's being ridiculous. It's a weird a weird dick measuring contest, and he's the only one who's really instigating it.
Exactly, yeah. And it's, you know, it's also not like Evil AJ is like, I wouldn't say he's a YouTuber either. It's not like he's trying to, I mean, he's got a decent sub count and he's had some really fucking successful videos, but he's not like Phil or whoever, you know, where he's uploading constantly and trying to, unless he's got another account that I don't know of, he's just kind of occasionally he'll just throw up a video. You know, that's it's not the same thing. Like there's absolutely no reason to bring up this, you know, this sort of competition aspect of it. It was just complete bullshit.
It just throw it in the basket of Phil has to discount everything this person has done, so he just goes to attack every possible thing about this person. He has let go of me for 10 years. He's sick. He's disgusting, and all this stuff. So all his fans think, wow, AJ's really an asshole. Oh my god, this AJ guy. He must be scum of the earth. You know, he really wants his fans to think that. That's the starting point, right?
Yeah.
Let's move past a little bit, though. Then Phil finds this tweet where, like we talked about earlier, AJ said Phil could do whatever he wants. And Phil thought this was like huge gotcha moment. Some word he's very familiar with, gotcha. He's like, oh my God, oops. That was the word, oops. And that, like Meerkat said, the whole thing is covered his face now. He's like, oops, you said I have permission. So let me get this straight. We'll go very slowly here because I'm a little slow on the intake. If you say something is, you permit someone to do something that stays in perpetuity, right? Until the end of the earth, till the sun implodes, you have given permission. So I can't wait till I see some of my ex-girlfriends, because I used to be able to kiss them, you know? So I'm just going to go for it. With that logic, I mean, it can't go wrong, right? I mean, it just permission lasts forever. I didn't know this. This is new information for me, but maybe you guys knew about this. I don't know, but it's crazy. You could never take permission away. You know, it's crazy. This is new information for me. But yeah, obviously Phil thought that was his big gotcha. So now,
Your Honor,
yes,
she said yes one time. It's okay. It's okay. I got free reign. Your
I
Honor.
was 12. Okay, yeah, this case dismissed. Come on. But yeah, that was just really, that's the whole crux of Phil's big. Remember, he really built this stream up too. Like, oh wow, this is our big moment. You're gonna want to see this one. He does it for every fucking stream, by the way. But this was his big. You can't wait to hear this, and this was it. 3 years ago, AJ said, do whatever you want to my video. And then later he said, you don't want you to play it, but it doesn't matter because you said it's okay once. So that was pretty funny for me. Any other comments there? Sam, Meerkat, and Lee, the floor is yours. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I don't think I have much to add to this, so I'm going to pass it on.
Okay. Sam?
No, well, I've just got written in my notes here. I didn't take many notes because I didn't actually manage to get through the whole thing, the react, but I just put it's tiring listening to a 40-year-old teenage David Brent is what I put.
And when you said that like the first show that Phil reminds you of that, and now I can't get it out of my mind because I agree so much. But yeah, that was definitely the gotcha. That was not the gotcha. It's not how life works, but it does in Phil's universe. So he had permission. You know, and I don't want to get into, maybe you guys do, Anley, maybe you have more information, but like what's legal, what's not, fair use and stuff. It gets so gray area. People just saying nonsense. Like who knows what YouTube will do? We never know. But any other thing there? What's legal, what's not? I'm not really interested. Can we move on?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Him uploading the whole raw video as a private video on his channel, that's I don't think that's legal. That'll get him claimed really quick. If Evil AJ did decide to pursue it, which he's not going to, that would be an easy way to get a strike on your channel. Not him reacting to it, but just him uploading it to his own channel. He should have just had a burner account or just had one of his fans do it, and it would have just been easier that way. But I don't think he could trust him then. So
yeah,
I just like it kind of frustrates me in a way. Just the whole this is even a thing. This whole who's going to upload it and whose version am I going to watch and all this, and it's just like. All of this really is because he refuses to sit in his PC like everyone else and just watch the file on from his PC. You know, like he has to do it weirdly. He has to sit on his sofa and watch it through his Xbox, and he's the only person that I know of that insists on doing things like that. It's just, jeez.
Well, if he really, really does believe it's his own content, he could have fun watching the raw video itself, just the raw playthrough itself, and see how fun and amazing it is.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, it is his content, right?
Yeah,
we brought this up the other night, and the answer to that was like he quickly realized that his old content is shit. Like,
yeah,
you know,
he told us that too.
Well,
he watched
yeah.
100 hours, and he said it during the playthrough. I don't want to jump ahead here too much. He was like, "I don't know how you guys watch this." What? That's so crazy. It's like my old Phil shit sucks. He literally said that. I don't know how you guys watch this. I was just trying to beat the game as fast as possible, guys. But anyway, I don't want to jump ahead too much. I do want to say Harry Otter Gaming, you're a legend, and that's a good point. He remember how important it was, Meerkat. You kind of touched on this earlier. How important was it to get permission from Frederick, from the people with the wings thing, and from the other videos? But Evil AJ, fuck it, that's all done. And like you said, Meerkat, his whole I'm gonna react only if I get permission. Remember how important that was earlier when he started
Very
this react
important, yeah.
nonsense? Well, that's thrown out the window. Evil AJ, go fuck yourself. Permission?
And I know
got it.
In principle, you don't need to ask for permission, and I would react to stuff without asking for permission. But if you're gonna make it your gimmick, you either ask everybody or you ask nobody. You don't make these cherry pick. Oh yeah, this guy I will ask, this guy I won't ask. Even though it's all YouTube videos, it's not. You're not reacting to something that is beyond that, like copyright wise.
It's just I don't know. Anything else on that? I think Ellie, I think you might want to say something.
I mean, honestly, he should have asked Evil AJ. He should have just been a man and just straight up asked him. But I mean, he doesn't need the permission. This is just him. I don't know. It's by that logic, he didn't even need to ask Frederick, because I mean, that was all his own content anyway.
Yep.
Like it's all weird stuff. He should have just asked it. If he got a no, he should have just played it anyway and just whatever. This is all just ridiculous.
Yeah, and he just had different tone with AJ of like, yeah, Frederick was using his content too, right? But that was okay. Frederick's a cool guy because he's what, a million. He's a million subs. So that's cool. Go ahead.
He could have got a pretty good look for himself if he just drop into AJ's DMs and be like, "Hey AJ, I know you don't like me, obviously, but I do this thing where I react to videos, and I'm gonna react to your video and all the comments that are toxic in it and whatever. And can I do that? Is that okay?" And I think that at least, even if AJ said no, it would have gave him a good look. It would have made him like a kind of a level-headed person,
100%. Instead, he had to do a comparison to the Outsider, and apparently the Outsider is a very positive person because he makes this how you don't plays, even though the Outsider is, well, if we're gonna go by Phil's own words, is guilty of some of the insert of memes that are very toxic and negative. I'm almost positive, and somebody's probably gonna correct me if I'm wrong. I'm almost positive one of the Outsiders, This Is How You Don't Plays, quite literally has DSP saying the N-word. It's in there.
Yes.
So, I mean, is that positive? I guess by Phil's book.
Yeah, it's bizarre that he's brought this up, but it goes to show just how much he doesn't give a shit about what he's saying. Like he's just he's latching on to whatever he can get hold of to make his point, basically. And I think, like the Outsiders tweeted, I can't wait for this to be retconned and for this to come back and he's gonna say something completely different when he wants to react to an Outsider video.
That was so weird how the Outsider, who had legendary videos, I'm saying, but he's so far ahead of AJ in Phil's mind. The Outsider is great. AJ, go to fuck yourself. The Outsider, what a legend. It's they do the exact same thing, kind of. Outsider just kind of leveled up the content, right? AJ led the groundwork, and Outsiders leveled up the content, kind of,
AJ didn't have any standard to live up to. He created this the format. So Outsider, obviously, you can watch This How You Don't Play, see what you don't like about it, and make your own by, fixing the things you don't like about it.
Yeah.
And Evil AJ didn't have anything to live up to.
That was one brilliant thing he did actually touch on. He said something along the lines of he was confused that one blew up, that AJ's blew up, because there's been better ones, and it was it was the first one. This had never been done before. What a weird thing to say.
Clearly, it's just this scramble. Just as he has to have his moral code. I'm this nice guy. I'm above all the trolls because I ask permission. Except when I'm dealing with the trolls, then I don't ask permission. But I'm still above them. Don't worry, guys. But nonsense. Then I didn't have any notes about this because I'm going to be honest, I was a little disappointed about the football, the Madden. I was looking forward to it a lot because This How You Don't Play is one of my favorites. The original Madden. Phil, just as always, has such a knowledge of sports, of football, the gridiron, and really he knows nothing. He picks a play, whatever the play is, it's going to be a pass play. He runs back, runs straight back with the quarterback. He just runs, hits the ball from the center, runs straight back, and beams it to the target receiver. There was no other nuance to the game. That's how the game works. And if a bad team gets a turnover, that's bullshit. If a bad team gets a touchdown, that's bullshit. Bad teams can't return kicks. It's just this is how you don't play. Please watch it. But as usual, new Phil is not as entertaining as old Phil. Does anyone have any comments about football, Anley? I'm looking at you.
One
Oh,
thing.
gee,
One thing.
no.
Okay,
Real
no from
quick.
Anley. Meerkat, yes.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. I am not into American football. I tried to get into it by playing one of the Madden games, easiest difficulty. I did not once concede a point. Not a point. Not a point. And I tried it on the easiest difficulty because I didn't know the rules or anything. I played some practice matches. I started playing some exhibition matches. Not 1 point. That's how easy that game is. It plays itself.
I know this is literally coming from Meerkat, which I don't think is the best football expert in the world. And football is definitely not a big a deal over there as it is here. And Phil, of course, is the master. He let in 14 points before he got in the single point on easy. So that is certainly something. That was just as usual nonsense from Phil trying to play sports games, and he has to play on easy because he can't get embarrassed. Because that is a game with difficulty that you can't really hide. Right? That's something Phil does a lot now with new gameplay. Is like if the game is kind of if it's not known for difficulty, like he's okay with games being difficult if they're known for difficulty. But games that aren't known for difficulty, he can't be seen like sucking that much, so he'll like do what it takes to make sure it doesn't happen. In this case, it's making the game go easy, and that was it. Once let's past that, let's go to the next day. Madden, whatever, we're done with that. The next day, before the Level 1 podcast, before the React event. Remember, Phil has the previous day was I'm owning AJ. I'm just playing it anyway. AJ's my bitch or whatever. No, he didn't say that, but he said like nonsense, basically calling AJ a bitch multiple different ways, saying I'm going to watch it anyway. Then the Level 1 podcast on Saturday, much different tone instantly. It was incredible how different his tone was. He just all of a sudden starts with these backup plans, right? I'm not sure what's going to happen. Might be some strikes. I don't know how YouTube works. Just a very different tone, Phil. Clearly nervous about something. I know he was doing it to raise drama. I mean, let's get real. But I think he was legitimately nervous about how that was going to go. Did anyone else have that feeling? It was a different Phil. There was no gotcha moments on that pre-stream. It was, if this bad thing happens, guys, there's a backup here. But anyone else have comments on that pre-stream? I think you watched it, Meerkat, right?
Go on, guys, first, because I'm gonna take quite a while. I have,
okay. Sam War and Lee, go ahead.
I saw a lot of people saying this. So something definitely changed overnight. I'm not really sure what went on there. But yeah, like you say, there was definitely no the clown mode wasn't happening.
No,
for whatever reason. I mean, maybe because he made a lot of mentions about the I've had multiple threats of takedowns and all the rest of it, and it's just like, because I never know what to believe about that sort of stuff. When he says, "Oh, I've now had multiple complaints or I've had multiple threats," and I'm just like, "Have you though?" So I don't know, but maybe he did, and maybe he was just genuinely nervous. I don't really know, to be honest. It's very odd.
And
I want to know where these. I want to know where these threats were, because I looked on the forums. I really didn't see anything in terms of threats, and I don't think there was anything really on Twitter unless it was through a DM. But I think he has those closed, so I want to know what these threats were. But yeah, he was definitely not on his. He was not high on the hog, if you would.
Yeah,
mind that saying. He was definitely feeling some kind of worry. It was some kind of preemptive thing. He wanted to cover his base because I think he thinks that if it's not Evil AJ, it's going to be somebody else malicious. He even went to great lengths to talk about how, nobody else has had to suffer this, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's going to do fake strikes. It's only going to be from Evil AJ. But, dude, my channel got taken out because of fake strikes. So that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Wings is right now currently going through that. And I think what it is I think he's worried about the Wings drama at the moment, because it's constantly being brought up in his chat within the last 2 weeks. And I think he's starting to think that could be a possibility. And I don't know. I mean, that's a future topic, but I have some very, very specific thoughts on that specifically. So
Okay, so
I think it's probably from the Wings drama.
Yeah, and that's definitely it's another source of Phil is way quicker than normal to ban these days, and it's definitely part of it is because anytime Wings is brought up, it's quick change that subject fast. And yeah, I do want to Phil the day before, remember, was like people strike how ridiculous it would be if people strike him and stuff, right? He met the day before, he was so happy, like fat and happy. Oh, by the way, you said high on the hog. Was that pun intended or not?
It was pun intended. I happen
sure.
to use that because you can tell when he's high on the hog. First thing in the morning, he's looking smug and has that shit-eating grin on his face. So you know
Fresh
he's going to say
pull.
something or show something.
Just got finished with his morning pulls, ready for
Yeah,
action.
probably. Yeah, more than one thing, of course, can be construed from that.
All right, but back on topic. He was just so yesterday, like striking me down would be the most ridiculous thing to happen in the whole universe. And then the next day, it's like, oh well, okay, guys, I got some fail safes in place. This business time Phil came out for a second there, but let's move on to the react. Oh no, Meerkat, excuse me. You had a big comments there. Yeah.
Yeah, I got everything written down. I'm ready to bite into some juicy pork meat. Now, first of all, my boy admits that he has a direct line to YouTube where he could just drop somebody a message and they're going to clear up everything within a minute. And I watched this today on my stream. You can go check it out. Plug. Within a minute, he says that he gets hit with that kind of shit all the time. Then he proceeds to admit that his actual plan is that if something happens, he's going to post it on Twitter. That's his plan. And he's very proud of his plan, that he's going to post on Twitter what's going to happen. And obviously his plan is, if he gets strike, to go on a different channel and stream there. However, something that he didn't look up, but I did, and it took me a minute, I realized that this is also referred to as ban evasion. So if you have a live stream that gets taken down for copyright, you go somewhere else, you're going to get banned because that's against terms of service. Of course, he did expect to be reported because of the whole, watching This How You Don't Play. There was a lot of drum up into the lead up to it. And he didn't necessarily expect to be struck by AJ, but maybe someone else. Because obviously he knows that there are people going around using his name, Phil Burnell, to take down channels. I'm pretty sure Ann Lee's going to agree with that because that shit happened to him.
Yep.
But obviously
obviously
when they use Phil's name to benefit Phil by taking down trolls, that's perfectly okay. But if they use Phil's name to look into his bank account and make a robot lady confess to all of his sins, that is super toxic and you shouldn't do it. And finally, I think Kiwi Farms, they were split down the middle on the AJ thing. Half of them, I guess, wished that he would strike Phil. Other half wished that he wouldn't, because then you're doing what Phil wants you to do. Because he was low-key baiting those strikes. He wanted to get those strikes.
Yeah.
So there could be more content on the way. He could be smug about it. He could be arrogant about it. He could say, you guys, everything I told you is exactly true. I told you this would happen. And I had my backup plan. And all that song and dance. And in the end, something about the Wings trolls. I think he is kind of half excited about it and half scared. Because, of course, if Wings trolls come by, there's going to be more drama. It's going to be more interesting. More people are going to watch. More of his fans are going to give money because they feel bad for him, or they want to help him get over the drama and fight the trolls. And he is kind of scared because he knows what the Wings trolls can do, because they're going to go out there and get him banned from some places. Maybe Streamlabs, Stream Elements, PayPal, you never know. So I think he's both kind of scared and kind of excited to see some of that. But I don't know. That's just my speculation on it.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's my impression of that whole pre-stream, because I really didn't have a nice time watching it. I kind of hated it because it was this whole fucking delusion, paranoia that is not warranted, because he knows that if something happens, he's going to be okay. But I think he wanted to extend that paranoia on his fans.
Yeah.
So they can sit there and stay watching all day, because, at any point, something dramatic can happen, you guys. So don't go away. Keep watching.
Yep. Yeah. Like we said, the drama is the content now. It has nothing to do with the gaming. It's gaming adjacent. Gaming is the background. to Phil building up drama every single day and every single. It's either schedules or drama. I think that's what we're down to now.
I think that's a really good point, Meerkat. Actually, I hadn't really thought about it in exactly that way, but yeah, to keep his fans on edge is a really, like, I don't know. He's an idiot. He comes across as a dumbass, but he's not completely stupid, and I could see him thinking that way for sure. Yeah, I like that one.
Just another way to be like the trolls are out to get me. Look, they put me through this hardship again, guys. I'm gonna need your support even more, right? Just that we know the song and dance by now.
Yeah.
Annalie, anything to add there before we move on? We got a question in chat too we're gonna get to, but any
no, that was pretty spot on. I agree with Meerkat there that I really do think it's that he's wanting to drum up that fear, and I think he's playing into it, and I think he's actually scared because if that Jordy stuff blows over and Jordy still stays on, fine, keeps the Wings trolls at bay, but if they end up breaking their toy, man, they're moving on to the next toy, and Phil is definitely one of them.
Yeah, definitely. We got a question here. Someone asked Barrett Wells, legendary question here. Do you guys think DSP's inclusion in the WWEC faction is spending dependent? The past faction members were discovered, so does the new one have a pay to stay clause as a safety net for other faction members? Good question there.
That's a good question.
I am not an expert on the faction nonsense. I'm gonna defer to our guest here. Do you know anything more than us about this faction new development here? Or
that
question?
I'm not quite sure because when it comes to a lot of the specifics with factions, I usually defer over to TJ Gamebox. I mean, just back when it was originally breaking, I think I was one of the few people who actually went about grinding to rank up high enough to even just watch Phil before they changed a lot of how things worked in the factions for monitoring them. But I specifically don't know a whole lot about it. I just know that in the past, the uselessness and some of the other factions they was originally in, they end up having a lot of members doxxed because they probably put up their accounts and everything associated with their Facebooks and everything, and that did cause a lot of backlash, and he did get tossed out a lot of them. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they were instituting some kind of weird you got to be more discreet policy if you're going to be wanting to be in that actual group. It depends, one of their bigger spenders.
Yeah, so I guess TJ Gamebox is here in chat too. We definitely want to get you on a show because I kind of want to. I don't know if anyone else is interested in the three of us group, but I want to know how WWE Champions works a little bit more because I want to know how the depths that goes. But DJ Gamebox might be a future guest for sure.
You know what I want to do, and I'm gonna pitch it on the air so it's easier for us to approve it. I want to do a Steve and TJ Gamebox, but I want Steve to do his homework on gacha games and the mental psychological manipulation that they do to people, because I know this for a fact happens, and they do take advantage of people's gambling habits. And I want the one guy that I can trust on all the brain science stuff. I want him and the other guy who is really good at the champion stuff.
That sounds like a good show to me. So yeah, so make that. Steve, we're gonna put you to work for sure. And I'm going to ask you that for sure. That's a good idea.
Yeah, not to give Steve too, any other work or anything, but we need you on, mate.
We need you on it. Making 14-hour videos himself, and then also coming on our show. Legend. But let's get to the actual react. Okay, so
there was one thing I want to address about the question from Barrett that I noticed about DSP's faction is that it explicitly says it's not necessary to have a line app. So I would assume that they're not that really have high requirements towards people being in their guild. So because with the other ones, some of them require a line app, which you would assume they require you to be more spending and participating more in group events. While this one, I think it's kind of more lighter on those elements.
What a world. We're going to get into that in a future show for sure. That idea is too good. We're going to talk about WB world a lot more in the future. Don't worry. But let's get to the actual react. Now, this is kind of, I think we can, not as much here as we might think. Just have some things to talk about, but I did watch this whole react. As usual, we get the whole talk. We have to hear what This Is How You Don't Plays are again. Remember that we just heard about 24 hours, the whole history. We get it again, just in case you missed. And I love when Phil does this. Phil explains why people liked him. And then they also explain why people like This Is How You Don't Plays. So he says things like, a normal person might say, okay, pretend I'm Phil. People like me for my gameplay videos, right? That's what a normal person might say. Anyone can assume that, right? If you're watching. But Phil says, like, people like my gameplay videos because I was honest. They also thought I was really cool because I play games raw without, checking any guides or anything. Also, they thought I was cool because I was doing the midnight streams, and a lot of streamers weren't doing that, and they wanted to stay up and watch a game really late at night. So they were watching me. That was also like me because you just go down this list of like why people like you, and it's all just made up. It's all just made up.
Welcome back, everyone. To that being said, I'm joined today by a bunch of legends. I guess we have to carry on with the show. Is this everybody glitched out, or is just me, or is just ALT? I see Sam is moving.
Am I muted? Oh no, I'm here.
Okay, Anna's moving.
You lost Meerkat, I see.
Yeah, you. I don't know who lagged. I can't
this
tell
is
anymore.
Weird, actually, because it seems like you two can't see each other. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we're in sync then. What the heck?
We're back.
That's bizarre. I think so. Yeah.
Hello. Are we back? Oh no.
Yeah, I think we're all right. I think it's okay. It's just it just really went out of sync for a second.
Okay, Meerkat, you're back. I'm gonna make sure. Do we have the cat? Not yet.
Okay.
There we are.
I guess let's just continue, and he's gonna join.
Continue. All right, so we'll just pretend that didn't happen.
We can't just have dead air here. So let's continue with the topic, I guess. What did we stop on? The React itself?
Whoa.
Can Meerkat not? Is it just Meerkat?
Wait, what?
Yeah, Meerkat, you can hear. I'll speak. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
What? What's happening?
This is bizarre.
I can't tell. He's on the call.
He's answering it perfectly that we can't tell if he can hear me or not. Can you hear me? Yes or no?
I can't tell if there's a bit. I can't tell.
I'm gonna.
Hello?
He's reconnecting.
Yeah, let's do that. Sorry about this.
This segues pretty nicely considering there was a segment for Phil that was kind of similar to this. Oh.
Okay.
It's just us.
Okay, there we go. There's Meerkat.
Hey, I'm back.
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me like now? Like
hello? Yes.
Okay.
Right, and you can hear me too, yeah?
Wait, it was just me? Because chat is saying that it was just me this whole time.
I believe
it sort of seemed like you couldn't hear us, or I don't know, or you could hear us, but it was like 20 seconds ago or something. I don't know. Very weird.
I was worried that you were trying to do a bit and it was getting really, really, really committed.
Because I was trying to carry on with the show, but then turns out that I had an issue on my end. That's
weird.
Okay, so we're getting some intel here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently my internet flashed on and off, and
okay,
that's what happened. Now we're back. So
we got to make this a full plot line. I gotta talk about this for the next 3 weeks. It's a really big deal, you guys. Come on.
Yeah, really. My computer just can't handle it. When Annalie talks, it just heats up. The CPU gets so hot. I can see it's like working towards the blue screen of death. So I really, it's just disheartening to hear that. But anyways, my big raw rant was Phil loves to do this where he explains why people like him, and he goes in such depth, so in depth. It is so incredible. He can't say like my fans liked when I did raw gameplay. He has to go to the next level where fans liked how I was one of the first ones to play games all the way through without a guide. Fans liked how I was the first one to play games without whatever. He goes so deep on this. I really thought that was funny. But then in the nonsense, we start playing the game. There's a screen that Able AJ says he's still talking. Get to the goddamn game. Phil pauses it at this moment and talks for like 5 minutes. Just so unaware of what's on screen. It's irrelevant to him, by the way, what's on screen. But just I thought that was pretty funny. Of normally, as Phil, not knowing how to stream well, just another sign of that. But yeah, any other comments before we move on here on this? Anything from like the beginning of the React or anything? I'm kind of tired of talking for a moment here. Anyone talk about anything about the React? Go ahead.
Oh,
well, you couldn't.
I'll
yeah, Annalie, go ahead.
All right. Well, I will say for me and Ludwig, because we were doing a impromptu co-streaming for that on Twitch, and we busted out laughing at the same time because we just saw him. He was just like, look over to the left. It's just he's continuously talking over and over and over, and it's just like, wow, this couldn't be any more ironic. And I think the icing on the cake was just knowing that for some reason in the middle of that whole intro, he stopped and he was like, well, let me check to see if I have a instruction booklet. And we were all calling, oh, he's going to bring it out. He had a plan and everything. Didn't have it, steps back, steps on the capture card. And then all of a sudden we had to reset everything from start. And that's why I thought this was a bit from Meerkat. I thought we were trying to do that bit again.
Bit, that'd be too good.
He's the character. You know?
Yep. But yeah, that's just again, he gets then as soon as we get the comments, oh my god, the comments are so fucking annoying. He has to comment on every single comment. It was like, Phil is bad at this game. Pause. I never played this kind of game before. I was on the street fighting game. Like, and he said that literally like 10 times when the comments were like, you suck. That, of course, he got more in depth as the comments got more in depth. You know, like it was like somebody they were saying like, shit, like Phil didn't see the whatever gun. And he's like, yeah, I couldn't even find it. It's like, you don't need a pause for this. That was the worst part of it. Every comment needs pause.
He was pulling out all that nonsense about double tapping and like he had all of his excuses lined up. And I'm like, sorry, man, but none of this, like, you're not doing anything to convince me that you're just, there's something not right, like going on up there, like something's not firing up there. If where do you start? Why am I even saying this? But yeah, like the comments are spot on. Like just press every fucking button and things will happen on the screen. It's got nothing to do with whether you're a fighting game player for 10 years and you double tap sometimes. It's just like, what? You know, amazing.
I'm more surprised that he didn't call out that, you know, he used to be a drunk back then. He used to drink all the time. I thought that story was going to come back and we were going to be like, well, you know, I was constantly drunk. I was always inebriated, man. I can't help it. Like I was half expecting that to come up. And the other thing that just kept baffling me is like, okay, so we're arguing with comments that are more than a decade-year old. All right. So some of these are your fans from a decade ago.
Yeah.
How many of these people are still alive? I mean, I hate to be that morbid, but we might be actually arguing with dead people that no longer exist. I don't know. That was such a
he took an argumentative tone too. Like he was like trying to like go back at him. That was so funny. He was like
he got more heated at chat from 10 years ago than his own chat that was calling him out the entire time. They got more interaction from people 10 years ago than the people that were there for the event. That was insane. Absolutely insane.
Just leave a comment 10 years later. Feels like we have some serious interaction, guys. That's the best. It was like rolling on the floor laughing was like literally that was one comment. It feels like, okay, we were rolling on the floor laughing. Like so argumentative. Like he wants to go back at the dudes. He just can't stand looking bad for even a millisecond. But he didn't comment on all comments. That's a good point. There's some he didn't talk about that were like the worst ones. He did talk about retarded comment, which I thought was funny. He did say like that. I forget exactly what he said there. Do you remember, Annalie? Do you remember that?
It was
retarded comment was funny.
It was something to the fact because it was Evil AJ that posted that specific comment. It was like I think the worst comment, and that's not really saying a whole lot.
Yeah.
But it was the worst comment out of the bunch. It's like, oh well, you know, see that, you know, and it was like something effective. Well, you know, no wonder this guy's like acting like he's mentally retarded or something. You know, trying to go about these enemies, and it was just. It was baffling to me. I think he only highlighted that specifically because it was Evil AJ and he wanted to like, oh, look, see, he even put his own there. They were all in a competition. It's like, dude, these were all your fans and maybe some of them weren't your fans and they were commenting on your video and 99% of them were pretty much just laughing at you not being able to read and look at things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. He's doing a good job of doing that today, right?
Yeah, it's like, that's one of my favorite ways to troll Phil. That's just how you don't play his work. It's because they're not adding anything. We are seeing what Phil did, right?
Yep.
This is what you did. And again, Phil in the middle of this says, I don't know how you guys watch this. Literally said that. I don't know how you guys watch this. Well,
to call back to like,
go ahead.
How you said things were like watching a drama reality TV show or whatever. If you think about it, Phil is like, it's like watching Dr. Phil. You don't want to watch the advertisements. You don't want to watch all the filler. You just want to watch all the funny moments that come from it. So watching Phil is like watching Dr. Phil, and watching the detractor channels are all the highlight clips, all the funniest moments. I mean, if you look at it that way, it's no wonder you don't want to go through the slog to get to the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Some people are impatient, man.
Exactly. Okay, you still with us? Any comments there?
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
am still here. I'm
Okay.
still recovering from everybody in chat shitting on me for doing nothing wrong earlier.
did nothing
I was
wrong.
just sitting here.
it was
I
all
did
me.
nothing.
Blame
Anyways,
me.
anyways, I'm joking. I have just one comment for him reading all the comments. Is that you need to be on a next level of insecurity as a 40-year-old man to be reading comments from over 10 years ago trying to justify them. You gotta be just like next level insecure about yourself. Because like there was no point. It was just some shitpost comments that everybody sees on a daily basis on YouTube. It's just your run-of-the-mill comments. You don't need to address all of them.
And what I like the best is how Phil was. Oh my God, this was peak Phil hamming it up. You know what I mean? Like he didn't laugh at the right places. He didn't laugh when like a normal person would laugh at the thing. He chooses to like, okay, this is kind of a funny moment. I'm going to lean in here. Like, what are you doing? I mean, who's behind this act? It was such clear fake laughter. It was so cringe. Like I was like, all right, I gotta turn it off for a minute. It's just so cringe. Like it's really bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam.
It was just like a mixture of insecurity and then over exaggerating how how kind of funny he thought it was, trying to play up the fact that he's changed and he can laugh at himself now, but it's like you're overdoing it again. We say this all the time, but he's just he tries to double down on something and it just becomes painfully obvious that this isn't really what's going on in his head. He's just he's putting on an act. He's actually acting at this point.
Yep. And I like what he literally did laugh at some of his old jokes. Like he thought it was still good. He's like, yeah,
I mean,
that was classic. Classic DSP there. Yes.
Classic Phil. It's we have to overreact. And if it's a really potty humor joke, you can't just do it in the moment and then just kind of roll with it. You got to hammer it to the ground. But I mean, he was laughing over everything. I think may have been over 50% of like everything that was going on. He was just talking over the entire video. Yep. I think he just didn't want to hear himself and how bad he was and have people legitimately laugh at the actual thing that was funny, which was just him messing up and screaming about how everything is bullshit.
Yep.
So,
I mean, one thing we've seen at these reacts is whenever Phil has to hear himself talk, he can't stand it. He just can't be in his own skin for a he starts doing the chair starts going, he starts squirming, and then he has to talk. Well, go ahead,
I actually got a point to that. If you pay attention to that react, there are a couple of moments where he specifically relates to the person who is playing himself as he. I've never. Wow. It was like there were there's like 4 or 5 moments because at first like is he relating to the character? It's like no, I think he was actually saying he's doing this wrong. Like that came up and it was like, is he like pointing this out as if this is like another person playing the game? This is you playing the game, and it felt like almost like he's having an out of body experience. He's a ghost and he's watching like some other dude down there. I don't know. Me and Ludwig were just floored when we heard that because we thought we were hearing things. It was insane.
I didn't even hear that. That's pretty insane if you to think about.
It happened like 2 or 3 times, and at first I thought he was relating to the characters on screen, and he actually he related by saying he's doing this, and it's like yeah, but the person who's controlling the character is you. So if he's doing this, you're saying you Phil from 10 plus years ago are doing this. That's you. You could have just said I was doing this.
You see, this happened so long ago that it's now a different Phil. That's the old Phil, and now we're a new Phil who is not racist and sexist and all these other things. And he does use that strategy for a lot of stuff, man. He does use it for the Rambo and Howard thing. He used it for the Panda Lee thing. He really likes to literally separate himself from who he was in the past as like a separate entity, just so he can take responsibility for his own actions and accountability for his own actions, which is pretty funny.
That's next level right there. That's pretty telling, I guess, is the way to say it. That's how much you want to disassociate with past self and just literally it's a different person. But it's not, but it is in your mind, I guess. That's pretty crazy. Also the word self-defecating humor came up, which I thought was funny. Self-defecating. My favorite
There's
kind of humor.
so many little moments like that, like the self-defecating and the sunglasses as well was a good one.
Oh, there was also privatize your whole channel. That was
Oh,
a
yeah.
great one.
Yeah.
You should privatize your whole fucking channel. Oh, thanks, communist side Phil.
I don't think he understood. He was just tossing out words, and he's been doing this lately, where he'll say a word and it's just clearly wrong, and it comes out to be just way too ridiculous. It's almost on par with the whole, what is it, the enunciation of the T thing.
Oh no!
He
Don't
did
start.
no.
He did. Was it? Not he said one word. No, it was petty. He was doing petty.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I was dead. It's on that level. Whenever he uses a word wrong, or whenever he's now enunciating the T, I can't unhear it now, and it's horrible.
I want to put this on Twitter.
He's so petty.
I was browsing the social medias, also known as Twitter. This fucking guy, man.
We can go all day. Let's keep going. But yeah, so that's. I mean, there's more we could cover in that. It's just Phil does not want to hear old Phil, and everything we do hear about Phil, he has to explain away. It's not a react. It's just a straight up. It's like, remember the debunk fail he did all the that's whatever. It's like basically a debunk of what he does. Like all the reasons I did this bad thing, this bad thing you saw in this stream, let me debunk that. Let me explain it away. Right? Okay, the next thing I did. Yeah, that's all it was just, it's not even a react. It's a normal react would be like, oh, okay, I can't believe I did that. That was so stupid. But it's not like that. It's like, okay, this is why I did that. Hold on. Let me explain it for you. I'm a fighting game player. I used to double tap. Well, I mean, okay. And then that's the excuse for the whole playthrough. Is like, I can guarantee you right now I'm double tapping. Well, that doesn't, double tapping, does that block your reading skills or what? I'm not sure about the fighting game community does when they double tap. But I don't know. Final comments on the react. Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
I was going to quickly say, like, if you're a genuine sort of newcomer to Phil and you're genuinely interested in getting to know him and or catch up with him, it's like in his mind, you basically now kind of need like an instruction manual, don't you? You need the backstory. You've got to know all this stuff to understand who I am now as a person. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, but you have to read the wiki before you go to a stream. Read his whole life story. Yeah. Then now you have the full context, because everything you take out of this, don't take anything out of context, Sam.
Yeah, because
read everything.
Because what you need to know is that I was a character then, but sometimes I wasn't a character, and you may or may not get the joke, but you should have been there. Is what I'm saying.
Basically, this was the worst retcon job of all time. He's such a wide net with this retcon too. It's like literally a 14-year retcon of my whole career. Was all, well, not 14 years, I guess, but after he got married, he changed to the real Phil, I guess we have now, after the character career ended. But this was something else. It was one of the worst things to watch, I think. It was not even that funny. It's more just like, wow kind of feeling. It wasn't like, wow, that's funny for coming from the detractor point of view. It was just kind of like sad and shocking in many different ways. Any final comments on the react?
The apology was out of left field.
Yeah, you go ahead with that. You take
weird thing that he did where he apologized to Evil AJ for saying negative things about the react. Apparently, that was like, we just spent the whole day. We spent a whole pre-stream crapping on Evil AJ. Then we did the next day. We were scared of Evil AJ. Then in that same react, we were saying, look, Evil AJ is part of this club where they're specifically trying to be negative and put in the comments and put it in his own video. And then finally at the end, 20 minutes after that, I apologize to Evil AJ. It's like, the apology's not going to mean anything. Everything else was just like, what? I don't know. It's like after getting hit with a sucker punch, it's like, I'm sorry, man, I shouldn't have done that. It's like, bro, why'd you hit me?
Yeah. That was the best way to say it. I'm not saying nothing to add, but it was just beautiful. That's definitely true. It's just Phil trying to be on the high moral ground again, though, because I can say sorry, right? That's all it was, I think. Meerkat, anything to add there?
One thing I have to add that can basically apply to pretty much everything DSP has ever said and done. The only thing that matters is that he believes himself. We can call out all the bullshit we want. If he believes it, that's all it takes. And I'm pretty sure he believed it yesterday. So good job, Phil. I'm very proud of him.
All right, so let's move on to our last topic of the news stuff that happened recently. Our third trip into the closet, right? Second or third? One of those.
Third, yeah, I think.
Yeah, never-ending closet, just goes on forever. It's getting more. Now he actually has put some like effort into organizing it. Now got some hangers in there. He showed us the closet a lot more. I don't know if you heard our critique of that, but he definitely showed us the closet this time, which is a change of how it used to be. And just more nonsense, a lot of trash. I don't know how this much stuff was in there before. I'm not saying he stuffed it, but I wouldn't surprise me. But just more nonsense. The beret he was wearing during that part was very special. The beret is definitely my favorite hat that Phil wears. But closet observations, Anley, I'll start with you.
Well, you'll have to forgive me because I really just checked out at that time. I had already been up for 30 hours. I was debating whether or not I wanted to keep existing. I said screw it to the closet. I will say this: somebody did share an image. I need somebody to clarify it. And I put it up on my community post. But did he fish out a Wii remote with fungus?
Yes.
Because it looked okay. So let me get this straight. I can never now say that Phil has never successfully reproduced because from his sweat, his grease, and from his skin cells and whatever else he does to his junk down there, he is now somehow or another cultivated within 10 years of sitting in a closet at 100-degree heat. He's now cultivated life. So jeez.
What kind of situation, what atmosphere, environmental atmosphere must you have to create life on your Wii condom, as I call it, the Wii condom holder? I mean, it must be humid as shit over there, right? I don't know. How does that even happen?
Yeah. I wanted to bring this up about one of the previous ones as well, because I've never heard anyone go on so much about what's it called, rubber that's sticky. Like he keeps bringing that up, and I'm like, I've never heard anyone mention this before, like let alone more than once. You know, like what the fuck is going on?
I mean, it can happen to rubber. Like, what'll happen is that it gets brittle, but it's not going to create its own culture. He had a petri dish sitting in his closet the entire time. And he's wondering why he's leaking out of his nose and his ears.
I agree. What kind of air is in that house? This beautiful Seattle air fixes back pain, stops you from needing surgery. Remember, he was. I don't want to get too much in this rabbit hole. The Discord was going wild earlier this week that I have to talk about. Sorry, guys. 1 minute tangent here. Phil was happily before he moved to Connecticut. Before he moved to Washington, he was saying how happy he was that now Leanna could take him from the hospital to home so he can get the surgery finally. He was really happy about that. So maybe the Seattle air did work. He doesn't get the surgery anymore, but it also grows mold on plastic. So Seattle is such a mystery. The Seattle air, we don't really know what's there.
That's the trade-off. Like it magically fixes back pain, but you get a lot of mold. Like
it's a trade-off.
I think the most positive thing to come out of this is that colony of mold is healthier than anything that he managed to create as a community over 15 years on his YouTube channel. That's a pretty good achievement.
10 years going strong on that Wii.
What a garden he has back there. The closet is a garden now, just growing live.
They're all detractors now, though.
That's not the first closet that's had fungus, technically. He's had mold on his other closet when he showcased it initially going in 2013. And it was his bedroom closet that had water stains and mold up at the top left of the closet. So big ups. He's just wanting to spread the wealth around on all of his closets, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, there's lore. When he did move in, he did find water damage too, right? That's what you're talking about, Anley. I think when he moved in, he had the
Yep.
So I guess there's water all over that place. But other big news, I think this is a non-news story. I'll let anyone talk me out of it, though. Phil did show his cell phone. A lot of people thought for a second that it might be that WB Champions, but upon further review for me, it is not WB Champions at all. 0% chance of that being WB Champions. I'm ready to hear, though, from any of the legends here if they disagree with that point. Does anyone think it might be WB Champions? Have you seen the screenshot?
will
I
say
am
for
in the
somebody who's
same boat as you. Yeah, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
But at this point, I don't have to. We have everything we need to conclusively come to the conclusion. Amazing English right here. That he is playing the game. He did spend that money. That account down from the rafters is his, and we don't really need much else. And he snitched on himself once already. So that's all I need.
We'll say that for folks who are not interested in football, you guys are calling these plays very well. Upon further review, it is unfortunately not a touchdown.
Yeah. So yeah, just like Meerkat said, though, it doesn't matter. It's not like it changes anything. I mean, we already have clear proof he's been looking at it before. We still know when he logs in and stuff because that person can tell when they log in. They'll log it in every day. Minutes after the stream, I think there was some like confirmation there. At least a few, not too long after the stream on there. It's really bad. I got to say this joke out loud. Excalibur 2010. The mold is true organic growth. Too good. Legend,
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's
Best you could
legend,
get.
legend gets the high five. It's the standing O there. Wow, what a comment. So let's move past this. Okay, so the closets happened. Blah blah blah. Good support the whole time. I do want to talk before we get into questions. One last thing I want to talk about because it's been fascinating me for a few weeks now is Phil's game choices. Right? It's really it's hard to see Phil's strategy in a lot of things, but this game choices is one thing that's been fascinating me because but outside of Final Fantasy VII, he's like literally trying to play things no one wants. Right? Like it seems like that's his plan is playing things no one wants, but it's on or what's it called? Game Pass Plus or whatever it's on.
Yeah.
It's on that system, but that means it's good to play. Like Toy Story 3, I know he said a million people wanted it. No one wanted it. One person wanted it in like 2019 or something. And that went horribly after the first stream until he bitched about it so endlessly and was so disheartened and worried that a whale did step up. Then he's saying this multiverse. Clearly no one cares about that. No one gives money for that until he begs out of his mind begging. Literally like 5 tweets a day, that one stream about how it's low. He was really worried that time, like literally worried in his face. But he continuously is just running his head to the wall playing these games. What's Anli? You're the expert here because you're our guest. What is his strategy right now? If you have any idea, please let us know.
So this is his attempt at a half-baked solution with the retro summer that he's been wanting to do because he's always convinced that there's nothing that comes out in summer. So he's trying to convince folks, okay, I'm going to do a retro summer, even though I'm not officially titling it. But he's been trying to advertise it for the last 2 years that he's going to do it. Kept talking on Final Fantasy VII, Chrono Trigger, Mother, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's finally kind of doing it, but not quite. The other thing he's doing is this is all post-fatigue from Elden Ring. Elden Ring basically set the bar too high, and nothing he can play this year, and maybe next year, can ever top it. When Elden Ring was initially dropped, his first like 4 or 5 streams, he was consistently getting over 800, even more than 1,000 for his first like 3 streams views. And that was because he was legitimately having a tough time. He was not wanting to follow anybody's advice, even the game's advice. And he went out of his way to challenge himself. And it's just the same old watching Phil hit a brick wall over and over and over again. The thing that we used to say he used to do, he would just rush through a game, do whatever, not even pay attention. And now he's doing it again. So the character then, the character now. So all of this is because Elden Ring set the bar too high. He doesn't think that the games that are out there are, I guess, popular enough, which there have been a lot of games that have come out. He is outright, I think he's made it a point to completely ignore anything that has been on Switch because I think he firmly believes that because he has PlayStation and Xbox, he has a PS Plus, he has a Game Pass, that all he can play has to be to such a weird degree of graphically intensive. It has to look good. It has to be shiny. The keys have to be jingly. They have to be shiny for any of the Derek's in the chat to really care, pay attention, and for them to actually contribute. And it's nonsense because it's blowing back in his face over and over again. The whole multiverses portion, it really did floor me. Because he used this argument that people from 5+ years ago have been begging him to play another game. Well, if they're from 5+ years ago and they've been begging you to play another fighting game, and it took you 5+ years to do it, I don't think they exist anymore. And then when you go off and play that fighting game, and people are the only way that you can tell Phil that I do not want to see a game, it has to have low support because you can't vote it off the island any other way. It has to get low views and low support. But in contrast, he cannot have low views and low support. He has to have the support. So you can never vote off a game that he may actually legitimately like. And I truly don't think he likes Multiversus. He doesn't come off as he likes it. The last true game that he truly liked, that I saw him play through from start to finish, was Dragon Quest XI. I think it was Dragon Quest XI.
I say he enjoyed Stray. I'm going to clap back on that. Stray he enjoyed, I think.
I think he enjoyed it, but I don't think it was Dragon Quest. When he played Dragon Quest a couple years ago, and it was Tevin that was doing the restreams, he went out of his way to do every single quest, all of the extra content, everything under the sun. The support was absolutely abysmal, but he stayed true to how much he's always said he's loved Dragon Quest. It showed how much he loved Dragon Quest, and even with the flamboyant jokes, he went out of his way. He didn't care how many people were hating the game. He was dead set on playing it, start to finish. He loved it, but no game since, I don't think he's shown any kind of passion the same level. You'd have to see like a truly dedicated port of Street Fighter 2, and everybody has to be playing it for him to show that level of passion again. He just doesn't show it. The Stray was fake.
I think that's why we're seeing he's moving, as we can see as the time goes on, he's moving more and more into less gaming and more talking with the podcast and more React non-gaming content. Because, you know, Phil knows, I wonder if he knows, I think he thinks, or at least maybe he wants to, I don't know, but he definitely wants to get out of playing the games thing as much as he is now, for sure. I think that is clear.
He's doing a good way of segueing this right now, because he's, ever since the word chill entered his lexicon, he labels everything as chill, and he will go out of his way to find games that are chill. And you know what? There's only so much excitement that you can get from a bass fishing stream, from DSP specifically playing Minecraft, where he doesn't learn a single thing on what to do and how to build. And you know, any kind of narrative-based game where you just literally walk from point A to point B is just, it can be exciting, it can be chill if you make it one or the other, but it can't be both. You can have a chill playthrough, and I think a lot of his playthroughs right now have fallen into that camp of being chill, and I think he was kind of hoping Multiversus would be the exciting game, and it just kind of fell through.
That bass fishing thing, I've not actually seen him playing it, but I can only imagine what it's like.
I've restreamed like, 2 of them.
As we've probably said before, but like the right streamer could make that the best thing ever. You know, I can imagine. I don't know if any of you Scottish people in particular have watched Limmy, who's quite a big streamer now. He's a Scottish comedian. He could make that game. Yeah, he could make that the greatest thing ever, because basically all anyone ever wants to see him do most of the time is play that truck driving game. Like, and you know, that's just. But could you imagine Phil playing that? Like, it would just be, I need to do this now, and then, you know, there'd be nothing. There'd be no outside influences or anything making it funny. It would just be him playing the game and it being boring. You know, which I assume is what's going on with the fishing game. And the only thing he's creative enough to interject into it is putting laws on his hat, apparently. Like, come on.
There's no interactivity with it. If you want a good example of him being out of his element, look at him doing the management game. Was that the 2-point campus?
2-point campus, yeah.
It's indicative of Phil. He doesn't do management games. He doesn't really do those. I like management games. I had a Roller Coaster Tycoon stream the other day, and it was pretty good. I was making weird scenery with actual penises and whatnot, but it was funny. The point is that he doesn't know how to spice these games up. It's not his forte. His forte is playing an action game, getting really, really mad at it, playing a fighting game, getting really, really mad at it. Like, it's those are the kind of games he should be playing, or even an RPG. He knows how to do those things, but anything else, it's rough, because he needs the game to carry it for him, and you can't expect that out of a fishing game and any kind of management game. That's just not where it's at.
Yeah, I think you said it best when you said that Limmy has talent, you know, and like you know, like Maximilian dude has talent, and that's why they're the opposite of Phil, where it doesn't matter what they play, people will watch. I think Phil's fans. That's a funny thing though. Like, I think Phil's actual fans, they don't care what he plays. Really, I think they would watch too. The original fans, but like, he always blames everything on the game, but then says I'm a variety streamer. It doesn't matter what I play, but all the low support is based on the game. That's like the only metric he has to explain why support is low is the game. The game. There's no hot games going on. Meerkat, you were going to say something a while ago. I want to make sure we get to that.
Yeah, I guess I have something to add for the chill stuff, because he did try and use chill as a selling point, but chill is an atmosphere. It's a vibe. It's not something that you can explain exactly what it means. And definitely he cannot achieve. He doesn't know what chill means, because chill is not talking about your bills, is not bringing up your sub count, your member count. That is not chill. It's just another one of those, buzzwords that he uses to make everything seem a little bit different than it is. But I don't think it works out for him. And at some point, for him, chill is a synonym of boring, as he was playing Minecraft and just sitting there fishing and ranting about his fans and ranting about things in life he didn't like. Chill is just kind of boring for Phil. And I guess that's it. I don't usually watch his gameplay, but whenever I kind of happen to be watching somebody react to it or something, it's just boring.
Yeah. And before we get to questions, one last point. The daily wraps, we talked about it before in the show, but I want to say it here again. Literally investment meetings. And it's not just that, not just investment meetings. It's rating how your investments are going into the person talking, right? So it's like, imagine going to the investment meeting. It's like, all right, guys, okay, investments in me were okay today. Not, oh my God, good, but okay, no complaints here. But you just said a fucking complaint. That's my favorite part. Is like, okay, they were not, oh my God, good. That's literally what he said. I'm not making this up. They're not, oh my God, record breaking, but no complaints. Then don't say a fucking complaint first. Those are the most demeaning thing. Anyone that unironically watches those and like gets something out of those, I really want to question that they're probably just mentally something as well, socially at least, right? Something is not satisfying them in their life that they need to get this satisfaction of watching their favorite streamer rate their performance that day. That is the only thing he's doing, is rating your performance.
Yeah. Could you imagine like watching that and being like, okay, I haven't got money to support him, so all right, I'm gonna come back tomorrow and I'm gonna really try hard to chat. I'm gonna say more things. Like,
maybe I can ask people to drop a like they should do right now for this stream.
Yeah.
Plug.
But that's really one of the lowest things Phil does, and he does it every fucking day. And for what reason? Who wants this? Who wants to watch I don't care who, the most entertaining person in the world. You want to watch them? Okay, they do their whole stream, and then afterwards they give you a little report on how it went. I mean, no one else does this. And I don't feel like to say all the streamers do ask for money and all streamers do that nonsense, but no one else does this. This post report on how the day went. And what he means by how the day went is how much money you put into his pocket too.
It doesn't produce any value for the viewer. If you wanted to do this kind of the equivalent of this, you could make a highlights video from the most fun things that happened during the stream and upload this instead of a daily wrap. And then you generate some value for the people watching you. Daily wrap is worthless to me as a viewer. I don't give a shit how much money you made. I don't care how much you liked playing this video game and the progress you made, because if I cared, I would watch your stream.
100%. I think what he inadvertently has created is something just specifically for the trolls. It is created a game in which we can count how many times he touches his head and his face and his hair. It's how many times we can catch something absolutely insane being said. It can be a bellwether to see whether or not the pre-stream is going to be ridiculous if there was a consecutive night of like bad streams with not enough support. And all it is just, he was supposed to be like a weird report on how much he enjoyed the game, what he's currently feeling, but it's turned into, this is a schedule and this is just my feelings about how things went in general. It's no longer about the games, it's about how much is in my checkbook. And he's created a monster of a series, and because his ego is too big, he can't stop himself. Chat is not there to tell him, hey Phil, you shouldn't be saying this or that. He goes almost unfiltered, because if he's feeling negative, he's going to immediately record him being negative, and it's just going to reflect right there on that little bite-sized 10-minute video. What a great gift to detractors.
you know what? The thought occurred to me, and I'm sure it's probably occurred to everyone else. But imagining someone like yourself, or I don't know, Meerkat or whoever, someone streaming and just literally watching all of these in a row out of context, just just daily raps.
We did that. We did that. So
Okay.
there's a funny thing you can do with his playlist of the daily raps. Go to the last 3 seconds each and every single time, and it's like this weird thing where he's like clicking a button and he's changing his shirt. It's amazing. I was dying when I was like, watch this, 3, 2, 1, click, and then he just changes into a different shirt. And depending on how he wants that day, he's either manic or he's happy or he's like frustrated. It's like a magic trick. It's amazing.
Yeah, I can't imagine how funny that must be. Actually, yeah, I need to.
Yeah,
I need to do that.
yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. Yeah, put a video together of all those, like, clip them together. But yeah, I just want to bring that up because I know it's hard for some of us that live in this universe to remember how wild it is. Sometimes the stuff Phil does, but this is not normal. It is very unusual and is very wrong what he's doing. It is like, let's rate. If he made the video for himself, it would make sense, kind of, right? Like, okay, business to myself. Yeah, all right. Well, this stream didn't go that well. Write in your journal and you move on. You know
what?
Go ahead.
I have a perfect idea for this. Is you make the daily rap into a YouTube short, you put in your highlights, and you narrate over this. Today we played a shitty fucking fighting game 1002. I won all my matches and I'm the best. And that's it. It's 30 seconds, that's it.
Yep.
And you utilize YouTube shorts and you use it to reach more people. You put in your highlights, you create something for the viewer that's going to catch their eye, it's going to make them go and watch your stream. And that's it. You summarize everything without being an asshole and wasting your time.
100%. That's the best way to utilize shorts.
Yeah, and then it also gets split apart from his main sort of content as well, as it doesn't get like lumped in with all of his other videos as well.
Yeah,
like that's already a mess as it is.
It's gonna make you feel like you don't have to show up and watch everything he ever makes. You know, if you skip a stream, that's fine because you can go check out the highlights. Do I like this? Yes, no. I can go check out Phil's stream, but he doesn't make stuff for people to enjoy them. He doesn't make them to create value for other people, and that's his. The reason for his downfall. That's why he doesn't make money off of views and ads and stuff like that. And he's forced to beg because he doesn't understand that his job is to create valuable stuff for other people, not to convince them that the trash he makes is valuable.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to say it. But with that, let's move on to our questions for the week. And Meerkat, I'm going to ask you to take care of those.
Questions for the week. Yeah, people went crazy in the last like half an hour.
I know. Let's make sure we get to the super chat ones if you don't mind, Meerkat.
Sure. Can you see them in your panel? Because here in chat they kind of went away.
How about I'll ask the super chat ones and you can take the rest. All right. So
all right, sure thing.
The first one's going to be right to our guest, Ann Lee. And do you? Okay. I'll ask this. Any questions? Fine here. Thanks so much to Anonymous. Do you I'm gonna clean it up here. Do you pleasure yourself like Phil did once ago while watching anime? Honest answer only, so you can't lie here. Go ahead.
Specifically with anime, or are we putting the category of hentai?
Because we're going anime.
Hentai, okay, so anime no, hentai yeah, sure, why not?
There you go. Took care of that one. And the other one was hold on, I'm sorry, my friend. I will get to your question. I promise in the next one. Meerkat, take the next question. I'm gonna get to the other one.
All right, sure. Now, the question is from Discord, I guess. I'm sorry if I don't say your name because all the questions are transferred to a special place.
Yes.
Because we're a very organized unit. How will Phil find time to make a special trip to Bass Pro Shops for the fishing hat gimmick when he basically has no downtime on his work week and spends his 1 day off a week running errands? We need to figure this out, guys, because it's a big crisis. How will Phil do it?
I mean that goes to show if he's spending time doing that, then he's definitely not editing videos or shorts or whatever. That's.
But he already admitted to already doing it. That's the thing. He already said that he went to a Dick's Sporting Goods, supposedly, allegedly. There were already people in my chat that were telling me, well, according to the Google Maps, the one by him is actually closed. So who knows if it's even right? But I already called it out. I said before he was going to get his first lure, he was going to on his day off, he was going to go up to, Dick's Sporting Goods, and he was going to, ring the bell and ask for the gentleman behind the counter, and he was going to say, "Sir, I would like to procure 3 of your finest fishing lures. Money is no object." But like, what did we get? He told us a story about him wandering around, looking lost. It was like either he was going to play a character or he actually just pretended to be Phil, and he got lost in a Dick's Sporting Good looking for fishing lures. We could have just asked the associate at the front. I don't know. It's ridiculous. And then he ended up doing it at the end anyway. "Oh, sir, we don't have any fishing gear here." Okay.
That's my favorite thing you've ever done, Lee. Excuse me, sir. I have your finest fishing lure.
But you could turn that into a thing. You could have the little waddling Phil cartoon. He rings the bell. It's almost as you could turn it into a the cartoons they used to do for the Phil.
Yeah.
I can't remember off my head, but like it would have been funny. I don't know. But his whole story was ridiculous about it.
I want to see this now.
I know. I can't stop.
Somebody get on it. Somebody do it.
Only your finest lures, sir. It's my day off, so hurry up, please. All right, so we do the question. I did find the question here. Where is it? You have it here. The question was the Bruce Clayton Kindle coming in hot says the Dark Side Phil ending, Sopranos ending, or Butch Cassidy ending. I'll have to throw it to you guys. I really love the Sopranos. Sam, you go ahead. Looks like you're interested. Go ahead.
I saw the question, but I don't. I've not seen either of them, so no, sorry.
Is anyone authorized to answer this?
No.
I'm guessing either didn't the Sopranos end with like a cut to black or something? So it's either like a sudden ending or a like is it a whimper or a bang sort of thing?
Okay. Now we're talking. I definitely think it's going to be the whimper. It's going to be just one day Phil's not there. We never find out why. But,
I'm going with that. I'm agreeing with you. I think we've agreed on that before. I think it's just gonna one day he's just gonna disappear and we're not gonna know why, and it's gonna be really frustrating.
Oh, you guys think like that? I think it's gonna be a big thing, because he's not gonna go without like scratching and yelling and screaming. He's not just gonna vanish because this man is 1,000% dependent on the internet. Like. And I'm talking about he can't go a day off without attention posting on Twitter. Is how dependent he is on validation, money, and overall attention from the internet. He can't just go off the internet. Nope. He's DSP.
All right, so now Meerkat, I officially throw it to you for the next questions.
All right, next question is: do we think there's a few deep cover detractors in Phil's chat intentionally leading the polls off the cliff?
100%, and I already know some of them too. I know some of the topics that get started up. I know who they're by. I know what's going on, and there's more than one, and they're always doing it, and it's really ridiculous how much he falls for it every single day. And I bet you one of the mods that are probably hanging out here, you haven't realized it at this point. I mean, it's been going on for years, and you guys just literally let it slide. And I'm not talking about Snow Carl, even though Snow Carl is. I know somebody who's listening to this right now is going to say you don't like him, but I find him unironically hilarious. $1.50 at a time.
Yeah, totally. I do think it works both ways. It's both you have detractors in Phil's chat and you have Phil fans in other places.
Yep.
That they mine information from or try and instigate people to argue against each other. And I mean it's kind of like one of those things that just comes with the territory with internet stuff.
Yeah, DJ Bruno says it best though. No troll tipping, guys. No troll tipping. We never support that.
That's right.
But go ahead, Meerkat.
Next question.
Yep, I think we covered that one
well. And I think that one is pretty good. What do you think was Phil's worst event this year?
This year was pretty bad. I think I need the whole year to kind of compare, but so far, I would say the first clean out the closet because you just saw how dumb it was going to be, and he literally has done it 3 times now. But the first was good. Like we can't even see the closet. We see him just grabbing random shit. Half of it's trash. Pig explain everything. Some stuff's good. Some is randomly not good. Aerated shorts. A lot of good stuff. I would say the closet, but that's my guess.
Can we get new boxers?
Yeah,
I mean, old 10-year-old boxers.
Old dude. Those were good. Triple H boxers bad though. Remember that.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
I'd have to agree with the closet thing as well, because the reacts in general have been pretty terrible, but at least with some of them there's some amount of effort been put in, whether it's him or someone else, just presentation wise. But the first couple of closet things where we were thinking, oh, he's going to actually turn the camera and we're going to see something different, and then it's just him waddling off screen and coming back. So so they for the first couple were terrible. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'd probably say them.
And behind him, like Meerkat, you need to update your background now, because what's up there now is just like, it looks like all the shit that was in the closet is now just behind his head, and he's just like
Yeah, this is a
piling up
pretty old
shit.
background.
Yeah, just piling up shit. It's like
Yeah.
everything was in the closet. Let's make the closet clean, guys. Get it nice and neat. Yeah, now it's like all behind him. Just put all the shit behind you. And
I
that'll
think
be
it
fine.
better this way now. It just having a trash mountain behind him is really indicative of his entire career.
Yeah, it's like
Built
a
it on
mouse,
a pile of trash.
a mouse building the nest behind him. But yeah, okay, we
Yeah.
can handle that one. Go ahead, Meerkat. Unless you got to answer too. Though.
All right. I would say it's the Rambo and Howard one. First of all, it was the most personal one, and he completely missed the point, made himself look like a joke. That whole thing about not monetizing them, that was full of shit. I would like to be on the record of saying that's complete nonsense.
Yeah.
That it wasn't monetized, because it totally was.
Yep.
He just didn't read out the shout outs. And it was generally super long. In the middle of it, he ate a burger or whatever it was. Then he cried. And overall, as like an overall package, I think that was the worst one. Purely like
gotta agree with
objective
that.
wise. As in like
Absolutely.
troll entertainment, I had some fun watching it, even though I couldn't finish it. So that, I guess, would say something. But generally, I think that's the one. Is the worst.
Yeah. I should say
100%.
mine was more sort of presentation wise, rather than like what's going to be number one on Secret Limited's next video. Like,
Yeah. What does worse mean? I mean, that's the real question.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But go ahead.
financial support. I mean, he did do pretty poorly for the closet. If you really do think about it, like he told people, "Well, don't donate," and there were a lot of people that actually did not donate. To be fair,
That's crazy that you have to, what a world that is, right? So his fans literally listen to him that level of degree. Hey guys, don't donate today. Okay, cool, we got it. Don't donate. All right, guys, please donate today. Okay, cool, we got it. I need a lot of help today. Okay, we'll help Phil extra today. It's like, it really does work. What Phil says, people do listen. That's crazy, but it's true. All right, next question, Meerkat.
I guess if you tell them something enough times, they're gonna listen eventually.
Yep.
Like the
Yep.
broken clock. Okay, next question. Which actors should be the best to portray Phil and Kat in a DSP biopic? Well, a biopic, right? It's not a biopic.
Biopic, I think. Yeah.
A biopic?
Yeah, biopic.
Okay.
Apparently
you know
so,
what I mean.
yeah. Apparently it's biopic, and it just sounds wrong.
I think the guy, someone else showed me this. It's not my thinking. I'm not that smart. But the guy from Aladdin with the cartoon dude, the guy that's kind of trying to steal the diamonds. I'm gonna get a screenshot. Hold on. Go ahead, someone else, while I get the screenshot for the chat.
Like a Jafar?
Gazim.
Oh,
Yeah, I've seen the
of
picture.
course, Chad is blowing up with Steven Seagal. I mean, who else
Yeah,
could be?
that's
It's
a
fucking
classic.
Steven
That's a
Seagal.
classic. But I offer this as a counterpoint for the anime version that I know and Lee might like. So, Gazim. This is one I never thought of. It's in the chat now. Gazim is a good one.
Uh-oh.
Very on
Let
brand.
me see him.
Oh, him! I completely forgot
yeah.
about him.
It works,
You know,
right?
I agree. That's actually just little Phil right there.
Oh my god, yeah. He's just as greasy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am not this smart to think of that. Someone else did it in the Discord. So shout outs to that person. But yeah, that is Gazim. Cat though, that's a whole different ball of wax.
Cat,
I don't know
yeah.
if we should answer that personally.
That is
but if
pretty
anyone has
tough.
is there any? We have bikini models. We have to start there. So how many bikini models are out there? That's what Phil
I'm
said.
pretty sure if we cast a mannequin instead of Cat, nobody would notice, and we would save a lot of money on food.
Good point.
So I think we're gonna do pretty good with just nothing instead.
So, how much flack would I get if I said Sarah Jessica Parker? Only because she kind of looks like a horse.
Maybe, yeah.
Ooh, next question there, Cat.
Next question. Well, next question is the favorite weekly question is, what did you have for dinner?
Oh yeah. Sam go first.
Let's
We
hit
saw
Sam with this one, yeah, because we
let's
saw
dock
him.
Sam.
He can't lie.
I didn't get to finish it either. It was
Oh no.
just a Sunday roast, just a
Beautiful.
standard, boring British Sunday roast with chicken.
He's
Well,
under
there you
talking
go.
it now. Look really good, guys. I think Sam's winning this dinner talk for sure. But yesterday I had a barbecue actually on the grill outside, guys, getting some air time, touching grass, as they say, outside, enjoying life. That's what I
Hey,
Lucky.
that's solid.
had. Go ahead, Anley. What about you?
Well, if it was yesterday after the big endurance event, I actually just quickly made a ham and turkey sandwich with
Oh.
some lettuce and onion.
Oh,
I
God.
literally, I was dead. I just grabbed that and a granola bar, quickly ate it, and I was done for the day. But I am looking forward to making barbecue today. I have some pork marinating. Gonna put it on some skewers and gonna have some corn with it. It's gonna be pretty good.
What a peasant you are with that peasant food eating.
I had to. I was just done for the day. I couldn't.
As Phil
I
would
was
say.
crap.
Phil would never touch that. But yeah. How about you, Eric? You got to answer too. Don't forget.
Yeah, at some point during this stream, my girlfriend brought me some chicken pasta that I haven't started yet, but that's for dinner. This
There we
chicken
go.
pasta, homemade, custom style, custom seasoned, and all those buzzwords that make
Look at
it
you
seem
guys.
more special than it is.
Look at you guys. That's really. But what about? Did you get your weekly time out yet? Because you know you have to do it once a week if you're an adult.
Time out, as in going outside.
Oh yes.
Oh
Your time
yeah,
out- no, eating out.
I
Sorry,
do
eating
get
out.
it.
Eating out.
Oh, eating out. No, we don't do that. But probably tomorrow because we're having an anniversary tomorrow. So
Oh,
we're
big
probably
up.
gonna-
Hey, congratulations.
Big ups. Soulmate.
Hey, thanks.
Big ups. All right. Next question from the Meerkat.
Next question. I don't know how we're supposed to answer this one, but it says, "Can we see your favorite outfit, or it's too not safe for work?" I guess you could explain what it is.
Uh-oh. Are we asking
outfit.
the favorite outfit for the secretary?
He's not talking about us. I don't think so.
Oh God. I mean, I guess the classic is pretty good, which is just that particular the Virgin Killer sweater, which I don't know. It was the first one that I went ahead and just at the time I was just grabbing stuff from Booth and whatnot. It's like, okay, let me put this together. I mean, even now, just like I whipped up something really quick, did some color alterations, put a little necklace thing. It's just like, okay, just do it like that. But that's probably just the default one is my favorite. Now, my second favorite right now that's kind of leading up is probably the Morgan costume that Ludwig sent me. Only because I mean it's from Ludwig, man. I really liked it, and it I don't know. It was cool for the fighting game streams and whatnot. Even though the hair is kind of a little having a green kind of makes it a little awkward when I'm trying to make it transparent. So I have to do a lot of finagling to make it work. But, you know.
All right, nice. It still looks pretty awesome. I don't know if you noticed on the thumbnail for this stream, I made her breasts look massive. I had to ask my girlfriend, how do I come here? How do I make this anime lady's breasts massive?
I'm trying to learn how to do Blender at some point because I need to enlarge the assets of the secretary. And then at some point, I'm also looking for making I want to do a live 2D thing, and I'm going to make that the actual me. So we'll always have the secretary as the 3D model with giant booba, and then I'll have a 2D model that'll actually be a guy. That'll be me. I'm thinking of what was my old avatar? The war criminal.
It was like a Bosnian guy, right?
Yeah, the Bosnian war criminal. It was the dude who drank was it cyanide?
Yeah.
I
don't know his name. I don't know, but I know who you're talking about.
It is Slobodan Praljak. That guy.
Oh,
But I'm thinking of making an anime version of him, complete with little tincture, little shot of poison that I could just take a sip if I need to, you know.
Nice.
That's my desire anyway.
All right. I see some nonsense. The next question. Mirka, I'll take
All
this
right,
one.
next
All
question. I have to really go to the bathroom real fast, so you take care of this, and I'll be back.
That's literally why I just had to go, man. I couldn't hold it anymore. Sorry.
Yeah.
I missed like a big announcement as well. Apparently, are you getting married?
Wait, what?
No, not yet. No. It looks like that. No, just anniversary.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The chat
Sorry,
made
go
him
ahead.
feel
Go pee, man. Go.
Yeah, all right. I'll be right back.
All right. Would you rather fight 100 Jaspers or a single lion-sized Jasper? To me, this question is ridiculous because isn't a lion-sized Jasper just a lion, right? I mean, cats are pretty
But
much
I mean,
lions.
you'd
Go
probably
ahead.
want to fight the 100 Jaspers, wouldn't you? Because they
Yeah,
don't.
that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a lot of Jaspers.
But I know how to talk them down. Just talk like a baby to them. Talk to them like they're literally under a year-old child, and then that calms them right down. Right. So that's what I would do for that nonsense question. Sam, answering nonsense question. Go ahead.
Yeah, 100 Jaspers for sure. I don't fancy him fighting a lion.
Oh yeah,
He's
the
declawed as
yeah,
well, isn't he?
Good point, chat. Yes, they're both declawed. That's worth it.
But one has bigger teeth.
Good point. So this next one is Ann coming back to YouTube? Yes or no?
I mean, technically, I am on YouTube. Every once in a while, I'll do a pop-up stream, but it has to be something like really specific. I actually was debating on whether or not I wanted to do the YouTube stream for me covering the first part of the Metal Gear Solid, but because I was in the middle of that marathon, because I don't know if anybody cared, but I was doing a 24-hour marathon, and we just had an extension for it just to cover the Metal Gear Solid stuff because he was actually going to do it. So I was like, oh well, screw it, it's going to fall under that time. But every now and then I'll do a pop-up stream, and what I've been doing is I'll leave it up for about 24 hours, and then I'll kill it off and upload the VOD over to the Secretary channel to have a whatchamacallit for it. But I don't think it's going to be to the same degree on YouTube anymore. A lot of that has to do with the too many shenanigans that are going on, specifically with you know who.
Yeah.
And while I can cover DSP certain days, I mean, there's just really nothing going on. There's no games that I truly like. Kirby was like the last thing that he played that I loved racing side by side with him because I was like, man, this is a fun game. And he was just he said it was fun, but in the end he didn't like it. So yeah.
Another question. Okay, we get to the second half of this question. What do you think about Dave moving his camera now every chance he gets to show you his closet, Jasper? But it was impossible to move for years because it would screw everything up. And that is definitely true. That's a great question because remember, that was the big thing. I can't move, it'll mess everything up. But now he's just recently he's become kind of this, I wouldn't call it dynamic cameraman, but he does pick up the webcam from his computer and at least like angle it differently. What has caused this change of heart from DSP? I don't know. Any thoughts there?
He can do it when he needs to be able to do it, and he can't when he doesn't. That's the only answer I've got. I mean, I thought with the first couple of closet streams, I thought, oh, okay, well, if he can't move his camera, okay, that's fine. But now we've seen that he can, and we've seen it when we saw the champions on his phone. He's got some different angles. He's definitely inching past level 1 now.
Well, he can always move it. The thing is, he can always move it. When the few times that he did a stream where he would be showing himself on the computer, like the weird panic segments where he got struck on Twitch, initially, he had moved his camera. That was not a new camera that he was using, so he's always been able to move it. He just refuses to because I don't know reasons. But you know what? Because of that, I think he needs to give an apology to that one guy during the Danganronpa streams for not doing the 25 push-ups on camera because he could clearly move the camera.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the biggest one. When it as usual, when it benefits him, he can move it. When it does not benefit him, he does not move it. And for the push-ups, it did not benefit him because we know he can't do 25 push-ups. Or if he did, he might be able to, but they probably looks like so horrible form. He doesn't want to that on the internet. So of course he can't move the camera now.
If you heard it, it barely even winded him. He got to that 24th, 25th, thought that dude hadn't even broke a sweat. This dude is an Iron Man.
And when he's walking around houses that he might buy, it's like he just did a marathon. Here's the second floor.
Give him push-ups though. He can do it like, oh man, this dude, he's physically fit to be a Marine, man. I don't know why that recruiter just turned him down like that. He missed a great opportunity to get the world's strongest man.
Oh god, can you imagine if he got in? All right, but last two questions, Meerkat. You ask the next one.
Last two questions. Do you think that Phil is actually looking for new viewers? I've heard him say stuff like, "You guys know how it is with me and my life," and that could be confusing to new viewers since they cannot know. Okay, I'm gonna go first real fast.
Yep.
Both yes and no. Yes, because he knows that you can't just sit on the same 50 viewers the entire time and hope for them to give you $150 a stream. And no, because new people means fresh new eyes, and the possibility of them calling him out on a bunch of bullshit that we call him out on the daily. So both yes and no, I guess. Go ahead,
Yeah,
guys.
go ahead and go next, I guess.
I have to agree. Honestly, he wants the new viewership. He's always begging. Well, he's always indicating that he's getting increasing. Everything's up and up. He's getting new members. He's getting new subs. He's getting new, growth. He's always in a perpetual level of growth. This dude wants the viewership, and it shows how much he constantly looks over and he checks chat, and he's wanting to see, why is it dead? Why is he having to refresh it? He wants the new viewers, but I think he knows that the well he's drawing from is not the viewer pool that he actually wants, which is going to be nothing but detractors or people who are from other communities who like this kind of shit show and going to watch him. Every time there's a new video about him made by some public figure, they'll go out, check him out, see how bad he actually is, find out he is bad as he is, and then they'll go away. There was a video recently by I can't think of his name. He has a duck avatar as his profile
August the
picture.
Duck?
Yes.
Nice.
And I guarantee you that from that video alone, he probably got a couple hundred people that came out and check him out. But did it translate into any new viewership? Probably not. Look at what happened with Rich. People came by and they started viewing and giving positive support. And then that seemed to fall out the wayside the moment he suddenly became a detractor, even though he's kind of been egging him on for the last 3 years.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. If he's looking, I think he's looking for the being important that comes with having a lot of viewers, like he used to. I think that's what he wants, that importance feeling. But in the end, as long as he keeps those 5 people happy, and the 5
Yep.
I'm talking about, maybe it's less than
Yep.
that. As long as they're around.
I want to say it's roughly about a dozen folks, but as long as they're kept happy. But
Yeah.
I mean, if it's anything like Rob, man, you start losing out some of those tail end, Dolphin supporters. Stuff starts crumbling pretty quick. So I don't think he wants to keep doing what he's doing right now. But I don't know what he's supposed to do to kind of please folks now. It's
I mean, yeah,
they're gonna start going away.
Yeah, I mean, who's his? He hates his chat. Let's get real. He hates them. I mean,
I don't think there's a single person in his chat that he truly likes. I don't even think he likes Derek, because Derek changed up how he's asking. I had to find out why Derek started retracting his messages, something that he used to yell at people now. And it's because people got annoyed at Derek constantly asking the same question. So now he'll ask the same question, but he'll retract the previous time he asked it.
Yep.
So I don't think he likes Derek. I think he puts up with Derek because if he blew up on him, it would all make everybody like visibly upset. It's stuff like that. But I don't know who's actually left in that area. I don't even know what to believe with the whole 1 Minute Man thing. It's so unbelievable, because it's like, is this dude even watching your stuff anymore? Probably not.
Hell no. My theory on that, I'm confident on this theory. Choose to believe or not, fellow detractors, but 1 Minute Man gives him a certain amount the first of every month and says, Phil, do with this what you will. And that's the only theory I know that answers all the questions of why there's no pop-up, why Phil acts like it's not even happening, because remember, he's already spent that money long ago. And Phil, 1 Minute Man drops 1,000 the first day of the month, that's gone right away. So it's not a happy thing when he gets that 1 Minute Man tip. It's like, okay. Yeah, 1 Minute Man tips $25, and then another 1 Minute Man tips up the fake 1 Minute Man tips. Okay, how do you know the difference here of this 1 Minute Man?
Well, he says that he hits him up on, because back when he was originally getting kicked off of Streamlabs, I can't remember which one he was using first.
Yep.
When we initially got kicked off, he had gave everybody access to his direct PayPal link as a viable way of just donating. And I think that's when the whole 1 Minute Man started, because before that he used to give like $21, and then all of a sudden it's just always 25. It's always an even 25, which, I mean, it's not even, but for some reason it's just turned into 25.
Yep.
And I think some people kind of say it as he's preloading the tip jar to give people the idea that there are tips that are coming in. I mean, he doesn't do it in the beginning, but I don't know. Like, everybody expects it now. And does he give it on his day off? Your day off changes all the time. There's so many questions that just never get answered just from this weird tip.
Yep. Last question, Meerkat.
Last question.
Give it to us.
And before the last question, I know we're going pretty long today, but this is something that we usually ask everybody on the show, but we forgot to ask today. For Ann Leet, what is your story of finding out about Phil and getting yourself involved in all this nonsense that we're addressing right now and doing right now? So what's your side of the story?
So I think I've told this story a couple of times before. I originally used to hang out on 4chan. V would occasionally have a thread that would showcase Phil, and I didn't think anything of it. Mass exodus happened from 4chan's V and whatnot from a couple of boards. Went on to 8chan for a while. There was a cowboy thread. And for a while, kept up with Chris Chan. That flew off. Started keeping up with a couple of other individuals. That kind of tapered down as the trolling stopped. And then I saw Phil again. And I was like, man, you know what? He came up. I remembered him from 4chan. Let's check him out. And at the time, I was watching the SOK. And they had Theo on as a guest. I can't remember which specific stream it was, but I remember Theo was on as a guest. I was so on the SOK, thought it was kind of funny with the endurances because it was like, hey, this is a way I can enjoy watching somebody react to Phil's content, but this is how you don't play, so it can be kind of funny. It's whatever.
Yep.
Started also following Theo, and Theo, you really have to appreciate the. I know some people can kind of they're so on Theo. I learned to appreciate him really, really quick because he has a wealth of knowledge in terms of very specifics when it comes to DSP.
Definitely.
Plus, he has cool art and whatnot, and I like to check him out. But one thing led to another. I started watching Tevin, and that's just kind of how I slipped into the vortex. What really started me even caring about potentially making content was specifically the hospital story, because I thought that was the most BS story that I had ever heard. This dude was focusing on the weirdest facts. We were caring about the taxi driver, getting the car, finding where she was, the money. And it's like, it was never about how is she? Is she okay? Everything's okay. It was like there were so many personal details and so much nonsense baked in that story. The Fly Eagles Fly shout out will always be memorialized to me. But I said right there and then, this dude is not telling the truth. And I can't even be on the fence anymore. So I kind of fell into that, and the restreaming thing started happening whenever Tevin had his old Cox internet. He would go down, and I just hit the start stream, and then I would be like, okay, guys, hang out over here until he comes back up.
Awesome.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
All right, big ups for that backstory. I'm sure people were curious to know about it. I mean, if they've been following you around for some time, they would probably know about it, but we make sure to ask everybody their own stories because they're all unique and special and robust, and
Definitely.
all the other buzzwords. Now let's jump to the last questions. Wrap this up in a nice little bow tie. Do you think Phil plays other mobile games not named WWE champions? And the second part of this question is if he drinks anything other than gin, which we know the answer to that is yes. But let's go to playing the mobile games. What do you guys think?
I mean, obviously, I would say yes. I mean, yeah, if you play one game, why not play more? It's not like, he has to do something. Well, Cat's playing Skyrim,
I think he can only be really good at one mobile game at a time. So, like, if you're really high on champions, you can't be spending all that money on other games so you can be just as good in those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, but it depends on how much playtime it actually requires you to commit. If it's something where he only has to put in a maximum of like an hour of playtime and he really gasses himself out of resources, he may want to have a backup game and he can play it on the side. I do that sometimes with my own mobile games. I might have a second one. I mean, now, because I don't have any time, I can barely even play the one I'm doing now unless I'm on stream.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I was going to say, I can imagine him being into a couple of other ones and in his own way thinking, as a way of kind of justifying what he's doing, being, like, they don't know about these other two though, and it almost using it as a kind of justification to himself to, in a way, like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I can imagine him being probably not as hardcore, but definitely playing other ones.
Yeah, the other drink. Go ahead.
Well, he did say he was into rum, didn't he?
Yeah, I think the rum and coke is his main drink now, right? I think that's the.
No, that's what he tells us.
That's what he tells us. Yeah. It probably still has Tanqueray somewhere, but
it'll always be gin though. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter what he says.
That's the one thing I can say he has decent taste in. Is alcohol content, not gaming, not women, definitely, not anything else but alcohol. Good job, Phil.
And if you heard the call-in show, someone did the math on how much he must be drinking, and it was shocking. Someone
Oh
did the
yeah, that
math.
was a great segment.
They counted up like how if they did during the time of the bank leaks, he spent a certain amount. If you dish it out over the days, it's literally 7 shots a day to drink that much
7
alcohol.
shots a day. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Jeez,
That's the stuff you're missing if you don't watch the call-in show during the week, guys. Is these
that's
bombs like this.
insane.
That was something else, and that's every day 7 shots. 7 shots.
Well, we gotta presume though that Kat's not having anything. Like she probably drinks something, right?
Yeah. True. I'm not saying that, but okay. What's she doing? 3? That's a big night for
Maybe she
somebody,
has her. Maybe she could be a. Well, I don't know. Actually, now that I see how her recent picture is, who knows what she could be drinking? Jeez.
No, I'm not saying anything. I
No,
thought
I'm
of so many
not
things to
saying
say.
anything else.
So many things I wanted to say there, but I'm just gonna cut it. I do want to say last point before we do get off. Worth mentioning. I'm gonna forget if it's next week. This has been a streak of day off where Kat does not go, and worth mentioning. So we can guess what that means. We don't know what it means, but it just. I think if I have 1 day a week, as Phil tells us, remember, I have 1 day a week, can't do anything else. I don't have time to call Howard. Come on, I'm busy. I can't do a 5-minute phone call. I'm too busy. I can't go to buy lures. I'm busy. Well, I went anyway, but I can't. I'm too busy for all this stuff. But during the day off, when you have time with your wife, she was day off too. We know that he said that, and she's not going anywhere. She's
and the reason he's set that as his day off, presumably, is because it's also her day off. Am I wrong?
Right? Yeah, definitely.
Hyper BS. He was literally talking about Kat was home yesterday, and that's why he couldn't have Jasper in the office. It's complete BS. That lady has more than 1 day off. We all know it. He knows it. And he's trying to convince us that the day off can only be in these planned times. I don't think so. I think it coincides with convenience and maybe needing to do something for, I'm not even going to presume mobile events, but it's just out of convenience. But no, she hasn't been going with him.
Yeah.
I always imagine it's like visits to see the doctor or something, like, for whatever reason. But that in my brain, that's what it is.
It just seems weird, right? No matter a normal person, if you let's believe Phil's lies for a second. He has 1 way off. Usually you want to go with your significant other then if that's your one time together, right? But it's not happening. So I don't know what that means, but it's not happening.
It's been like that for a couple of months. He even admitted one day that he for the first time ever, going to a Walmart to pick up an online order. I was floored when I heard that. It's like, Walmart? The place that you said you never wanted to get caught in? You went to a Walmart? And he made a big thing about, I found out today how the online ordering, how it's so much better now for pickup and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we haven't been doing that how long?
Hold on. I don't want to derail. I'm on rail, but I want to give you a deep Theo theory to end on. So you said, Annalie, that it's been a few months now the Kat has not been going. How long ago was that picture revealed on the internet?
Oh no. No.
Think,
Oh,
detractors.
geez.
Did Phil decide that she's not going out anymore because he does not want another picture to arise on the internets? I'm just throwing that out there. Choose to take the bait or not.
Think about that.
There's another possibility is maybe not that he is not allowing her, but he told her all these things about the trolls are talking about you. The trolls, they hate your guts. They say you're disgusting and you're fat and you look like a slob. So you probably should never go outside again. I think that's a pretty good option for you. So he tends to do those, weave those narratives so he can convince people certain things. So that's not out of the picture.
I'm still floored how we used to go to the gym and that story just went away mysteriously and has never came back.
So much
What
of that
about
these
the
days.
exercise bike? They returned it and that was it.
Yep.
DSP yoga.
Couldn't even put it together.
Yeah, did he not give her
yoga.
the wait? Oh, that's so low key. Oh, that's so mean. If you here, honey, I know you're looking like a slob, but here's a yoga mat. Maybe you should hint.
You ever heard of DDP yoga? I bought it 5 years ago for $400. It's been sitting in my closet. Maybe you could use it.
Oh, that's low key kind of mean.
Let's stop it right there. We already have a great Theo theory for you guys to think about until the next time we're live. Do want to say thanks to the legend that threw some money at us today. Thanks for anonymous. You don't get a shout out again. You are anonymous, but thanks so much for that.
Hey, did we read the Ludwig's super chat?
I don't think we did. $2 from Logan Board Order saying, I heard he was up for adopting a kid. God help it. I believe you're talking about Derek there, right?
I
What?
hope not. Jeez, no way.
Ludwig,
Wait.
please tell us if we're wrong there. I don't want to say
Derek
things.
should be
not about Derek.
Derek shouldn't be in the same universe as children, let alone adopting one. What the fuck?
I'm gonna say something I've said on my streams. I heard about the playlist. They got removed. There was a suspicious playlist. There was a Discord night where I went through and I was just casually streaming to about 8 people, and we just went through his sub list. And I got to tell you, I'm never saying a positive thing about Derek ever again. Because when you go through that sub list and you see some of the content that's on there, you're going to question, why are you sub to this person? Yeah, have fun with that, guys.
Yeah, don't do that unless you want to find stuff you don't want to see. I'll say that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I did the same thing this week. And
I'm definitely looking this up right now.
Have fun. There are some with some videos that you're like, this is, why are we big upsing a family video of things? And I'm not going to say anything else other than this is something you would keep on your home collection as this is fun moments with my kid when they were younger, but we don't want to show that to the public. And for some reason, some people put it up there, and for some reason, people like Derek choose to subscribe to these people and had playlists
and
that are not
oh my god!
Don't we gotta stop.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna say any of this.
Yeah, don't. It just if you want to find it, you can find it, chat. We're gonna leave it there. Let's say thanks to the people that threw somebody ass today. So Ludwig Get Order, thanks. Rye Drake, Logan, Clayton Kindle, Barrett Wells, and Harry Otter Gaming. You guys are all legends. Thanks so much, chat. You always are legends. What a day today was. A lot of fun. A lot of theories thrown out. We covered a lot of ground today. I think we did a pretty good job. And of course, it was all thanks to our guest on Lee, my friend. So anything you want to promote, share, of course, your links are already down there, but anything else you want to share with us, go ahead.
No, I mean, it's pretty good. Like, if you want to check it out, sub to my YouTube. I usually put up my schedules. They're not audio versions, but you can see, and I'm mostly on Twitch now. It's AN1337, so hit me up if you feel like watching me play dumb games.
There we go. And please, again, links are down below, so please, and of course, my co-hosts here, Meerkat and Sam, we're always working on stuff. Their links are all below as well. Some stuff in the works. Hope we get the member stuff going soon. We're trying to get some hype emotes, some hype badges for you. We're thinking about how to make that as awesome as possible, so we're taking our time on that. Someday in the future, that'll come out. But Meerkat, any final words?
Final words. Big ups, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you, and Lead, for your time and effort to interact and chill with us. And yeah, everybody, go make sure to check him out. Check us out. Check out I don't know, some alcoholic beverage after this fucking stream, because that shit has been heavy, man. And see you again next time when we do something. We're gonna let you know, so stay tuned.
For sure. Sam, take us home.
Yeah, things in the works, definitely. Nothing to plug of my own, really, because I don't want to overpromise anything. But you know, just wait and see. But anyway, yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. This has been a insanely well supported show, and thanks Anne for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
it was. I loved it. Thank you.
It was a lot of fun, guys. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for your support, and stay tuned for the post wrap where I'll explain exactly how well you guys did for this stream. So get us out of here. Get us out of here, Sam.
Yes. See you later, everyone.